Okay, so we can start. I think we can start with experience points. Gustav, what are you buying?
I'm gonna get 5 strength and 5 intelligence.
Okay, 5 strength, 5 intelligence, right. Johannes, what about you?
I am gonna go straight up 10 willpower.
10 willpower, that's a lot of willpower. Alright.
Yeah, push me up to 63.
Nice. Lambert, what about you?
Give me 1 sec. Go ahead and do Andrew.
Okay, Gaston?
Yeah, I think last time you said which one I needed to boost. Was it weapon skill or strength?
I think
You said one of them was lower.
We were talking about weapons skill, I think.
Okay, well, I'll just do that.
Okay. By how much?
Just the regular move.
5%.
Yeah.
Okay. So we only have Lambert now.
Yeah.
Mm?
I'd like to make an argument.
What? Sorry?
I would like to make an argument.
What argument?
That I have fucked with and finagled and filed and hammered enough locks and locked places to get pick lock.
Okay. You did? Actually, I think you did.
You played with locks
Yeah.
recently. He was just kind of messing around with it.
Okay, sure. But is it in your character advancement?
Yes, it's one of my character advancements.
No problem. You can get it if you want. Sure.
Very good.
So it's 100 points and open lock. Yes, open lock skill.
Pick lock.
Pick lock. Sorry, pick lock. Yeah, that's right. Okay, pick lock skill. So everyone is set. Who's making notes?
It's my turn.
Okay, you have the document already, so have fun. All right. Last time we concluded with you all meeting once again at Shepherd's Wand after the ambitious infiltration plan of the Golden Triangle Club. Gaston and Lambert, you managed to escape from the place after witnessing various strange happenings there, and of course, hearing all sorts of sinister stuff. And Johanna, yeah, sorry.
Sorry, I just realized I actually had more to spend. I didn't add my XP from last time, so I guess I'm just gonna increase my toughness to. I mean, strength, not toughness.
Strength, sure, no problem. And Gustav and Johannes, you tried to get under the club via the sewer system, but unfortunately your guide got eaten and you were forced to emerge onto the rain-soaked streets of Altdorf. And when you tried to rendezvous with your friends, well, sadly you missed each other. You missed each other completely, and so at the end of the day, well, sorry, what, Michael?
We missed them so much.
Yeah.
I was sitting there pining for them.
And so at the end of the day, you just all met in the inn, at the inn. Sorry. And so it's another day because you are all exhausted. You, if I recall correctly, also Lambert and Gaston entered into a slightly heated debate. And
I was totally wrong with that.
Yeah, Michael, sorry, I can barely hear you. And I already have you almost at 200% when it comes to Discord. Yeah.
Is that better?
Slightly, yeah. All right. So it's next day, and remind me what was the plan now? Because if I recall correctly, you wanted to go to someone, perhaps the witch hunter, perhaps someone else, and told them about what you've discovered. But is this still the plan?
I thought there was nothing else left for us to do. I mean, we could go back to the what we may or may not know is Dark Elf place. Cancer Nuts was supposed to be living.
Gorin Akner?
But yeah,
Mhm.
Karina Ackner. But we don't know exactly where
No.
she is there, and we were afraid of getting killed last time,
Okay.
if I recall correctly.
I don't think we had a
Yes.
plan set last time. We were just kind of like, well, shit, that didn't work.
Well, I think we didn't really have a plan other than now it's time to bring in the witch hunters and settle these fuckers hash.
Yeah.
Because we need bigger guns than we can't do it ourselves at this point.
And
yeah.
the cover's blown, so
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we could go to the. I'm trying to remember because I need to look back at the notes. I guess because when we went up to I don't know if I can ping up there. I always forget how to ping. Oh, there you go. Ping.
Yeah, I can see that.
It was up there. It was up there somewhere, right?
Golden Triangle or what?
No. The
place
place
the place in the
where
house paintings.
Come again?
The place near the the Tower of Justice, whatever the hell it's called.
Akner. Akner lived somewhere here, actually.
Oh, there. Okay, I thought
Yeah.
it was higher up, but
No,
yeah,
somewhere here.
that way,
Yeah.
that direction. And my recollection of that was that when we went there, it seemed like people were watching us, and we were pretty sure that we would die
Mhm.
if we tried to go inside her house.
Well, let's maybe do a small recap and what you've discovered so far, and then you can decide what to do next. So you know that there is a Crimson Shade epidemic in the city. That's a fact. Every day there are maybe not riots, at least not yet, but certainly there's unrest, especially in the poorer districts, because lots of people are just getting high. And Crimson Shade is it's a very strong drug that boosts aggression levels and technically makes you a better fighter, but at the cost of your self-control. And so when you went to one of the victims' houses after being asked to do so by you I don't even recall why you went to one of the victims' houses. I think it was because of Finron, the elf, the house, the rich merchant house, the Schnitzer house. That was it. You've met a witch hunter there. You've discovered lots of letters, like really lewd letters, addressed to one Green Akner. They were written by a young man that went crazy and practically killed all of his family during a dinner. Tore them to shreds. And he was a student at Altdorf University. He belonged to this like he frequented a small travel-oriented, like explorers-oriented pub, slash whatever. And he apparently met Gorina there. You've learned this from the bartender. Red Dragon, it was called, the Red Dragon pub. And so after that, you discovered the Golden Triangle connection because it was like quite a few because Green Akner apparently also is somewhat connected to the Golden Triangle Club, the famous Explorers Club, and you've decided to infiltrate it using Gaston and Lambert as master and servants, so to speak. Of course, Lambert is not really Gaston's servant, we know that. And Johannes and Gustav, you were supposed to go from below. The first foray there was successful, and Gustav and Johannes, you also met the witch hunter's maybe apprentice or junior witch hunter, Margund Outman. She was staking out the place from nearby alley, and Gaston was later once again invited by Everett Harstein, the club owner, a rich, powerful man, like maybe not famous explorer, but a seasoned explorer. That's the word. And second time you went there, and this was the fated, like the fated voyage during which Gustav and Johannes unfortunately got lost under the sewers, and Lambert and Gaston had to escape. But what happened was that Gaston and Lambert, you've heard lots of strange things about about fleet leaving the place, the Imperial First Fleet, which is the larger of the two Imperial fleets. It's mostly river based, operating from Reichsport, north of Altdorf, and well, the fleet is basically gone. Like there are no capital ships here in the city. And Lambert, you also, if I recall correctly, discovered something strange in the cellar, in one of the huge caskets. You were too afraid to open it because it reminded you of what happened to your family. And there were also people in strange silver-like masks wielding long serrated daggers, slightly curved, which, according to one of the Gold College's magicians, Archmagisterix Romil Danowicki, were made at least partially from Ifilmar, which is a incredibly rare elven alloy. You also know that from the kids, from the street urchins that Lambert hired, who were supposed to follow Green Akner, you've also learned not only where she lives, it's near the Palace of Justice, but that she also visited two separate places near the northern part of the city, in the northern part of the city, near the city walls. They are old buildings, slightly dilapidated, which is strange because the woman is obviously nobility. She is supposedly a noble from Naun. The places are here, and some are here, if I recall correctly. Ping. And Garina also travels in a coach, but another strange thing, the coach, while being incredibly ostentatious when it comes to construction, it is a very solid piece of locomotion, has no crests, no symbols of her lineage, or it doesn't even have symbols of Naun, like the place from which she hails. So another strange thing. Oh, and meanwhile, Gustav was attacked at the university by two masked assailants, but it was like some time ago. They were wearing silver masks and wielding those daggers. So yeah, so that's what you know so far. And based on that, now I think you can perhaps make a decision. Let's say that you are eating breakfast, maybe in the main hall, in the main room. The atmosphere is slightly somber because lots of people are, you can overhear them, and they are, saying that the streets are no longer safe, that the city watch is not doing a good job against those crazies, as the Crimson Shade users are known. That last night there was a huge huge fight between the dockers and the Shade users in nearby, actually, on this side of the river, and they were casualties, they were dead people after that. Even the staff, the service of the inn, by the way, you haven't seen Finron yet, it's been few days already. The staff of the inn. Sorry, what? I don't understand.
It's been 2 or 3 days since we've seen Finron.
Yeah, something like that. And the staff of the inn, actually, not only are they also rather downcast and nervous. You can see that they are all more heavily armed. additional cudgels, maybe a few knives tucked behind their belts and aprons. They are all looking very suspiciously at almost every single patron, including you, by the way, because, well, everyone can be an addict, right? And that's the general atmosphere in the city. Like, the streets are very, like the tension is almost, palpable. You can almost touch it. So you are eating your meal after a hard night. Let's be honest. You haven't gotten enough sleep because after this rain, it got so warm that the place is like humid. Everyone is incredibly perspired. And so, over a few pieces of mutton and sage pie, you can probably discuss your options. By all means, please.
Well, gentlemen, I'm glad we all made it out alive. I think I'm still farting, right?
Oh yeah, by the way, that's...
I got minus 20 for the next... Well, it says 5 days. So maybe is today the part of the 5 days, or is it...
This is the second day. So, yeah, you are... Like, your stomach aches horribly, and those of you, so everyone except Gaston, who spent the night in the same room as Johannes, that was one of the reasons why you weren't able to sleep, because his flatulence, is just horrible. It honestly, I can't even describe the smell. And Lambert, you were also scratching yourself throughout the entire night. Because you have lice.
Scabies.
Scabies, sorry, you have scabies, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
I updated my character picture to reflect my current facial hair situation.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah.
Drew a mustache and a soul patch on.
Okay.
I don't see it.
So you are trying, of course, to hold your farts at bay, Johannes, but it just aches so much. So please.
Gentlemen.
Excuse me.
Yeah, excuse. That's a spicy meatball. Okay, I'm being serious. Gentlemen, I think we've gotten ourselves into a situation that we may need to call in reinforcements to handle at this point. I think the Golden Triangle is beyond our means, and we need to focus. We need to report them and focus on Guarina. And in my mind, I forgot what our code word was for rhymes with Templars.
Templars?
When you said that out loud, almost everyone in the entire inn looked at you, and there's this silence. A few people even got up and just left.
Relax.
I mean, cobblers. The cobblers. That's what I mean.
Roll.
We need.
Mm-hmm. You have convincing, so you have charm.
Yeah, I do.
Roll. Nah. You passed.
Success.
No, actually not, because you have minuses. Or is that with minuses already?
Oh no, you're right. Fuck.
So that's a botch. Do you want to reroll that? You have minus 20% to all main characteristics.
Yeah,
if you roll help, they might just get here faster.
Yeah, they will get here faster if I fail. That's true. If I botch. Alright, I'm gonna try again though.
Mm-hmm.
I just failed.
You try to convince all of the people here that no I meant I didn't mean Templars, but more and more guests are very hardly leaving the inn, quickly drinking their remaining drinks and maybe catching a few bites on the go of their food, but essentially leaving their tables because most people in the Empire, they don't mention witch hunters out loud. It is it brings a very bad luck.
Cover for him.
No, it's
I didn't say it.
at this point. It's just way
not
too
funny to joke about, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you are trying to salvage the situation, but it's already too late. Not everyone left, but about maybe 1/3 of the guests, quickly run out of the inn, and you can see that the staff looks at you and they are pissed. By the way.
Well, again, they're looking at Lambert because he's the one who said it. God damn it.
But they are looking at all of you because you are all, grouped together. So yeah. But
I'm
no.
gonna put some silver on the table because
Yeah, sure.
this is their livelihood. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna put 5 silver on the table
Okay.
and just put it under my plate, I guess.
No worries. Sure, you do that. No one is telling you anything yet. So Sean, please continue.
So we need to get our shoemaking friends to help us go over to the northern part of the northeastern part of the city. At least I think. Oh shit! I'm not. Sorry, I'm clicking close windows instead of.
You mean here? Somewhere here?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think. So we need to report on the club, the villa, and we need to urge them to go. We'll lead them to these places over here, wherever they are, to stop whatever nefarious plan is happening. What do you say, fellas?
Yeah, no, I'm done.
Because I think I think A, we can't do it by ourselves, and B, we already put our foot in it with them by not telling them in the first place. So we need to, try to make it make it like oh well, we were going to tell you, but we wanted more information, so that we didn't, so that we come to you with some actionable intelligence, which technically we do have now.
We need to tell Finron what happened, that the cover was blown.
We can tell Finron, that's fine. But I mean,
Well,
I
just so
think,
he knows, like, somebody's probably going to be coming around here trying to get to Gaston and Lambert if they put 2 and 2 together that they're here.
Oh. Well, did they know? They don't know what. Oh, I guess they do know their names because they gave their actual names.
Yeah, and I spoke with Gaston this morning. He refuses to wear a cloak.
Oh, that's right. He refuses to hide his luxurious head.
I'm not gonna hide my thunder. You said those words.
Well, what do you gentlemen think? I essentially, yes, we need to like somebody, maybe if we can't find Finron, Marla's the best person to know that that we might get a visit here from the Golden Triangle. But like I said, I think we need to marshal the forces that are available to us. Say this place, and this place need to be, dealt with, and we'll lead you to the place where we think. I'm just going to go out on a limb and assume that the product is over in these weird locations over here. Any thoughts?
Oh, the actual shade?
Yes. Or, the naked women repackaging it in a warehouse.
What?
I've watched movies. I know how this works.
Are you on a drug? Are you injecting cough syrup into your penis? You can tell me. I'm hip.
Yes.
This is coming back around full circle now. I think, like in the beginning, I was like, we need to find some sort of antidote or something for this, but I mean, I'm certainly not any kind of combatant or anything, so I'm out of my element there, but
Right.
as a physician, we might be able to help more effectively.
Well, let me put it to you this way. The jig is up as far as the Golden Triangle. And if Guarina Ackner is a member of the Golden Triangle and they're part of a distribution network in some form or fashion, then we need to act before they move where we know they are and lose them. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So notify Finron, figure out how we contact. I don't even know where the shoemakers would be. I know we know where the safe house was, but I don't remember where we were supposed to meet them to notify them of anything. Do you recall?
All we had was the safe house and the Jade. It wasn't the Jade College; it was the Gold College. It went through to meet the Jade Magister.
No,
Right,
you went to Jade College. You've met Corbinian. I mean, you've met Corbinian there, but you later went to Gold College, in which you've spoken to Archmagisterix Romilda, and she actually, told you that the daggers were made with Ephemer, steel and Ephemer. Yeah. So you visited two colleges of magic.
Right, but so what I'm saying, we were. Did you actually told our friend whatever his name is?
What friend? Corbinian Shrek?
No, not Corbinian Shrek.
Margut Outman?
Yeah, her. But what's her boss's name?
Her boss's name is Ginter Klinger.
Okay. Yeah. So do we know where to find Ginter Klinger, or is it just?
We could leave a note at the safe house, maybe.
You can also, all of you except Gaston, you can roll Common Knowledge Empire. Gustav, you don't have Common Knowledge Empire, so only Johannes and Lambert you can roll. Sorry.
Minus 20.
Mm-hmm. You've passed.
Aha!
Nice.
Take that.
I gotta expand my page.
Let's see how Gaston.
We can go to the Palace of Retribution. But
Oh.
hey, we wanna,
I'll take
buddy.
the box, man. That's not even worth it to me.
Okay. You have a headache, by the way, after the entire ordeal during the night. So let's say that for this day you have additional -5 to your Common Knowledge Empire tests because of the botch. Yeah, you just can't focus. But Johannes, you guess that perhaps you could find Klinger by visiting the Grand Cathedral of Sigmar and ask for him there. He is a witch hunter after all. And from what you understand, he is a Sigmarite witch hunter and not, a mercenary one. So this is risky, of course, because no sane man in the Empire is looking for a witch hunter, but it could pay off.
I will take one for the team and go find him. If you guys wanna meet us, or you guys, we could split up.
If something happens, what do you want me to tell your family?
Well, the only family I really have left is my brother, and I don't know where he is. He's a soldier somewhere.
All right. Well,
You guys
I'll go
are
with
my
you.
family now.
easy.
That?
So that makes
I'll go
the
with
will
you.
easy.
Okay, Brian first told you that he's going with you. Now, Michael, now your turn.
Oh, sorry. I said it makes the will easy.
Oh, yeah, the will. All right,
Oh.
gotcha.
Yeah, I guess. Well, we haven't. I forget if we've drawn up papers for our Prestige Worldwide business, but
I don't think you did, actually. You know, yeah,
No, we haven't done it yet, but
We
yeah.
spent a lot of the money we were going to invest, so
Yeah.
there's that too.
spent some of it. I still have a fair amount.
Those healing draughts are expensive. Let me put it like that.
Gaston, are you saying anything? Adding anything?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it sounds like a good plan to me. And I mean, I'll go with you, especially if someone needs to be killed.
Also, that's the thing. Does somebody want to go and notify the wizards while I and whoever will accompany me go to the temple?
Well, I
Yeah,
think
do you guys want to do that?
splitting up last time almost wasn't necessarily the greatest thing. It turns out.
True.
I mean, but I mean, if we need to do these two things at the same time, then sure.
Well, I mean, I'm just
Let's do
trying
one and the other.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. Is the wizard colleges are on the way to where I am surmising the product is being warehoused or distributed from. So yes, we could do that. We could all go together as long as we keep our mouths shut about Sigmar. Looking. I fart loudly and look at Lambert.
Don't have to worry about me saying anything else anymore.
Yeah. And then the Jade College in particular. They're both on the way, essentially. So we could go to Gold and Jade if we wanted to be both. Just be like, hey, I don't know if you guys want to tag along, but we're gonna go kill some people. No big deal.
Well, it's been almost 24 hours, so I got the itch. Good.
Yeah, we might be too late. We might be too late already. It's true.
All right.
You say we're going to scratch the itches? I got some itches you can scratch.
Yeah, you can see that Lambert is scratching himself like crazy, and you can also hear the
Balls.
yeah. Actually, he's scratching himself everywhere, including his balls. And Johannes, you can hear the another like wave of of wind arousing inside you. So I guess that what all of you are going to the temple. Is that correct?
I believe that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
One look at us and be like, they're afflicted.
sorry, what? Come again, Michael. Come again, Michael, if you could.
I'm going to take one look at him and be like, ah, he's not like.
Okay, so you finished your meal, you drank the last of your, weak breakfast beer, and I presume that all of you are getting your entire stuff with you, or are you leaving something at the inn?
I'm gonna go get my Tilean white. I'm gonna try and clean them real quick
Mm-hmm.
with some soap, and I'm gonna wear those and bring my kit with me and everything.
Okay. But are you leaving anything?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm leaving clothes and stuff, blankets,
Okay.
stuff.
Sure. Johannes, what about you?
I am bringing all my. I'm just wearing regular, clean clothes.
Mm-hmm.
No fancy clothes, and I'm tooled up with my all my weapons and armor, and I'm leaving all of my other stuff, my trade tools and all that shit. Oh, I guess I'll bring I have a healing draft apparently. I'll bring that. That's it. Oh, and bandages.
Okay. But again, are you leaving anything? That's my question.
Oh, you know what? I'm taking everything. I'll just take all my stuff.
Okay.
In my bag. Because yeah, we're worried about the place being raided while we're gone.
Lambert, what about you?
I will pack my clothes into my pack, and I should. Let me check my encumbrance on this real quick. 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I should take all my money out of the floorboards if we're worried about this place being burned, right?
It's up to you. How much money do you have? Remember, if you have lots of coins, then walking with them in a purse is hard. That's why, small coffers exist, right?
Yeah. Well, I have a shit ton of pennies. Well, no, I'll leave my. I have 35 gold still hidden in the floor.
You can carry this much in a purse. That's, yeah. I mean, the purse will be big, but it is possible.
Okay. Well, what I'd like to do is to further. Can I put my purse in my backpack? So that I can...
Depending on how much stuff you have in your backpack.
All right, yeah, all of my stuff fits into my backpack.
Okay.
Just looking at my. Fuck.
I think you can, Sean. For simplicity's sake, let's say that you can hide 35 gold crowns inside your backpack.
Okay.
No worries.
Well, yeah, I'm just looking at my stuff, and apparently I did not write down sling bag or whatever.
Yeah, so you can choose. You can either choose sling bag or backpack. It's up to you. Because you start with one of those. Alright, Lambert, you take everything with you?
Yeah, I've got all my stuff. The only 2 pairs of clothes I have, because I stripped them in the street, is I'm just going to wear my black clothes, and I'm going to store my best craftsmanship clothes in my bag.
No worries, okay. And Gaston, what about you? Are you taking everything with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess the only thing I can take is my horse.
Yeah.
My horse is somewhere else, anyways, right?
Yeah, because I think you've rented like a stable, right, for a few days.
Right. I think.
Yeah.
So. I wasn't sure if it was there or if it was somewhere else.
No. I mean, the stable is not very close to the inn, but it is relatively close. But like, it's not right next to it. Okay. So once again, you all step out onto the sunny and. Sorry, Gustav, come on. Go ahead.
I'm gonna whisper to Lambert that Marla should probably come with us, but it's probably best if I don't ask.
Okay.
Well, they don't know about her per se, but we should tell her to tell Finron and then ask if we should ask her if she wants to come with us or if she wants to.
I'm a little worried about her safety is the thing.
Yeah.
Staying here when we're not here.
So who is talking to there, if anyone, right?
I nominate Lambert.
I did too.
Me.
Okay, Lambert. So you are searching. You are searching for Marla. Marla is, working as a waitress right now. You approach her as she is taking another order from a small group of rather tired-looking dock workers. She sees that you are approaching, and she stops by the bar, looks at you. You can also tell easily that she is exhausted from the bags under her eyes and the rather general status of her hair. "What's up, Lambert?" she asks, trying to be merry.
Hey, Marla.
Hey.
So, and I say this while furiously scratching myself. We kind of fucked up. And if some people come around here looking for us, you've never heard of.
Right, but some people, as in the authorities, or some people as in
if anybody asks about specifically a halfling and a very easily recognizable Plutonian night.
Sure, she says. But let me ask you one thing. And she, nods her head towards the bartender who is actually right now. He's not looking at you because he's just he's serving a beer to one of the clients. But what about people working here? I mean, are you expecting trouble that might affect them as well? They are mostly kids, you know that.
Okay, I mean, I get it. You don't have to guilt trip me. Jesus Christ.
You mean Esmeralda by Esmeralda or something like that?
Yeah, by Phineas.
Yeah.
All right. So everybody in here got a weapon. I can see that they got some weapons.
Yes.
Cool. Where the fuck is Finron?
We don't know. We haven't heard from him in a few days. Well, before he left.
What?
Well, you're not there, Gustav. Remember.
That was my shower.
Sorry, what?
That was Brian.
Oh, sorry.
Hearing that.
No worries. He said before he left, he disappeared. Before he disappeared, he left some general instructions to the staff. What to order during the next couple of weeks, how to run the place, stuff like that. It was like. Well, it was strange, but he's an elf, and they are all strange, right?
If you have any interest in being staying here, I would close up early at night, and I would lock everything that you can lock.
She looks at you, and you see that she has this serious look on her face, but she nods and says, I will talk to the rest of the staff. Then again, you understand that we have the biggest crowd, the most clientele during the latter hours of the day and early hours of the night.
Marla, I don't think we're going to be coming back here for a bit.
Alright, so the rest of you already left, or is only, or are you still at the door, like Gustav, Johannes, and Gaston?
I would wait by the door because I'm watching.
Okay, so when you say that, Lambert, she quickly glances at Gustav and she looks at you, and you can see a genuine, alert in her eyes. Like, what do you mean you don't think you'll be coming back here? What's going on? I mean, we talked last night, and she talks to you very quiet. Like, you told me about the Golden Triangle. What is the plan right now? Like, I don't get it. You're talking in riddles to me.
I shoo the bartender away.
The bartender is not even listening. He's at the very end of the bar.
I beckon her to lean in a little closer.
She does so.
And I say, I'm pretty sure that the people who killed my family are the same people who we fucked up a raid against last night.
Oh.
And I'm pretty sure that these same people that we fucked up a raid against last night are all influential, well-placed, wealthy people that have made sure the Imperial fleet is not in the city. This makes us pretty sure that we are going to go talk to the Rhymes with Plimplars about helping us. And the farther that you and this establishment are from any of us and any of that, the less likely it is to end in fire.
She looks at length at you. She says,
Gustav had nothing to we had something to do with this, but he didn't have anything to do with me and well, no, this was all basically my fuck up.
If I see this is taking a long time, I'll walk over there.
yeah, Gustav approaches you. She's quiet for a long time. She looks at both of you and says, right, normally I would go with you, but if there's even a small chance that any of those people that you've provoked will come here, I must stay with them. And she, nods towards the kitchen, towards the bartender. As I've said, they're mostly kids. I hope that whatever it is that you're going to do with the Templars, she of course says this very quietly, you will be able to do successfully, and that you will stop those people. Wow, I think this is even worse than that whole deal with the wizard outside the city. The necromancer, remember him? Yeah.
I think it's a little bit better. You're not actually personally involved this time.
I think we are all involved. If the people that you are talking about are so powerful, I think every single one of us is involved, Lambert. She says this with this rather sad smile. But it's alright, don't worry. We'll be fine here, we are determined, and lots of tough men come to this place, like dock workers, sailors, river watch from time to time. Don't worry, we'll be fine. Besides, this is right next to a street of the Thousand Taverns, and I don't know how desperate or determined those people would need to be to try and attack an establishment right next to one of Altdorf's most crowded streets. So you do whatever it is you need to do. Don't worry about us. We'll be fine, she says. Now I'm going to roll. I want counter roll from both of you, Lambert and Gustav. This is your perception. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to reroll. She has a fate point. So I'm going to use once her singular fate point. Lambert, I don't think you've passed because you have the scratches, the itchy scratchy thing.
It doesn't affect my skills.
If I have any modifiers, I just pass.
Oh yeah. You're right, Lambert. Yeah.
Scabies only affects -10 to my AG, to my agility and my fellowship.
Yeah, that's right. Gustav, you've passed?
If I don't have any modifiers, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so both of you see that she's trying very hard to act tough, brave and confident, but she's very scared. And she says, now, I'm sorry, guys, I need to go back to work. Yes, I'll be there in a second. You saw that, those three guys at the table. They're like, "Hey, where's our order, right?" And she's like, "Sorry, go, and be heroes, right?" And she, ruffles your hair slightly, Lambert, pats you on the shoulder, Gustav, in this rather awkward, motion. As only people who are once involved romantically, are able to do. And then she quickly runs to the, behind the bar to pour some drinks. So.
Oh, I'm worried, but I'm sort of proud of the decision she made.
Yeah. Gustav and
I'll be back out there. I'll be back out there in a minute.
Yeah. So you're both going outside, yes?
No, Gustav, I'll be back out there in a minute.
All right. Okay. So Gustav, you're going outside?
Yeah.
All right. Lambert, what about you?
I reach in my purse and call Marla and the bartender over.
They both approach, although Marla, you see, is holding already a tray with a couple ale mugs on it. The bartender looks at you.
How long have you been a bartender here?
Almost half a year, sir. He says, Master Finron is treating me very well. I was bartending in a couple of places before. It's a young kid, like basically, maybe he's like 19 years old. But they were all dens of scum and villainy, and this is the first honest to Sigmar, honest place. He says.
That's great. You've been with other places. You've seen hired muscle before, right?
Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
I put 5 gold crowns on the bar top.
Right. His eyes go wide.
Hired muscle.
All right. 5 gold crowns. Yeah, that should be fine for a few days, like for a few guys.
Only need it for a few days.
All right. Marla looks at the kid and says, "All right, you can go. Ask Harold to stand behind the bar for you before you go. Do as Lambert says. Go to the docks. Hire a few tough guys. Tell them that's for a few days. All right? Yeah, sure." The kid says, like he snatches the coins, places them in his pocket. Harold, I need to go do some stuff in the city. Can you stand for me for like an hour or 2 or 3? Yeah, sure. You see that another young man emerges from the kitchen, wiping his lips from grease because he was apparently he just finished a meal. Yeah, sure, I can do that. He says, yeah. And you see. Yeah, sorry, but you see that the kid is just, the bartender that snatched the coins. He just very quickly runs outside onto the street.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I go throw 1 silver shilling into the fire and say a quick, "Reynold, you fucking prick! You better watch this place. This is a great place to have."
Yeah. All right. No worries. Sure.
I remove the 5 crowns and the 1 shilling from my inventory.
Okay. So you are all eventually meeting outside the Shepherd's Wand. It is a hot day. There's literally no trace of storm clouds in the sky. It's actually completely cloudless. The sun is scorching hot. The humidity is absolute. You are all sweating profusely. It doesn't help the fact that, of course, Johannes is also farting loudly and incredibly, strongly, if you know what I mean. And Lambert, the longer you traverse the streets of the city, the more you scratch yourself, almost to the point of bleeding in a few places because because the humidity, the salt in your sweat doesn't really help your situation. You can see that the general atmosphere on the streets of Altdorf is also, at least where you're walking, is also rather unhelpful. Lots of people are that you are passing by. The crowds. They seem to be even more nervous than usual. You've witnessed, by the time you've reached this bridge, you've witnessed maybe half a dozen fights. With punches being thrown and curses being spat out towards fellow men as well. In the distance, actually, over the roofs of the city, in the far distance, to be fair, you've also noticed fat stacks of black smoke coming up. From probably from some places burning up. The guards. The city watch and the outdoor soldiery are also very they also act uncharacteristically violent. Perhaps you've seen few soldiers in the livery of red and blue just frisking some people that are standing right against the wall. When one of them someone is doing something in the background. I hear I don't know what it is, but Gustav, is it you?
Nope. I heard something in the background.
Yeah.
It almost sounded like somebody was messing with a tool or something.
Yeah, something like that. Now it's gone, I think. So anyway, one of the men that was being frisked by the guards, he's like, "Hey, we didn't do anything wrong. Why are you doing this to us?" And the sergeant, or maybe the corporal in charge, very he smacked him in the back of the head with the pommel of his sword, and he's like, silence, scum, and then he kicked him a few times for good measure. Of course, this only managed to make more people, not just those leaning against the wall, but few people from the crowd shouting and getting more aggressive. Down with the watch, down with the watch. They didn't do anything wrong, you pigs, you scum, and yeah, it's just like that. Good news, of course, is that because of all the unrest, no one took a toll from you on the bridge, because the guards were too busy separating, people squabbling with each other and fighting with each other. So you crossed the bridge without much problem, except maybe for the fact that you had a few times to dodge, a random fist jab. Maybe not coming towards you per se, but you were in the way. You're on the other side, and high towers of the Emperor's Palace, as well as the dome of the Grand Cathedral of Sigmar, of course, they are both easily identifiable from practically every single place. Do you want to discuss anything before you reach the building itself? Because you are getting closer and closer to it.
Well, I
What
will
is
just.
the plan here?
Well, the plan is to find our friend Gunther, and to let him know what has transpired, and that we are intending to head to the where we think the distribution warehouses are, and go and go there, and we would love it if he could send someone to accompany us.
I'll come give you moral support when we go in, I guess.
Lambert, feel free to stay outside the Temple of Sigmar, please.
I understand.
What about you, Gaston?
I guess I'll stay out with Lambert and make sure he doesn't get killed.
That's very nice of you.
At least not by anyone except for me.
I forgot to mention I'm wearing my helmet.
Okay.
Instead of walking around without a helmet.
Sure.
That's my way. That's my way of disguising myself.
All right.
Have you ever been to the Temple of Sigmar here, Gaston?
No.
It's one of the
No,
wonders
you're
of the world. You should see it. I think dwarfs built it, from what I hear.
Interesting.
Well, it surely
Not
can
like
be
here.
can be much grander than the temple, one of the great temples of the Lady in Couronne or Carcassonne, of course. But you know that those Sigmarites, Gaston, that they like to do everything out of proportion. The bigger the better, of course.
Right.
So anyway, eventually you reach the other side, other shore of the River Reich, and very quickly you actually emerge onto the Kaiserplatz, the huge square, right next to which are placed the Grand Cathedral of Sigmar and of course the Emperor's Palace. And the Holy Temple of Sigmar is your destination. It is an incredible sight. Of course, the heart of the Sigmarite dogma. And you know that some people argue that it is more important center of political power in Altdorf than even the Imperial Palace, of course. The cathedral's magnificent carved stone facades dominate the city around it, and the building demonstrates to all good citizens for miles around the awesome power of the Code of Sigmar and of the Empire. When you approach the building itself, you see that the twin spires stand at either side of the entrance at the northern end of the at the central square, and the door is flanked by enormous statues of Sigmarite warriors that are triple the size of a standard man. The twin-tailed comet is carved into the door, which towers 4 times the height of a man. Slightly larger than the warriors flanking the door is a statue of Sigmar set in a niche over the door, holding his warhammer Galmaras. You've heard, some of you, that the statue was carved centuries ago by a Sigmarite priest famed for his battles against Chaos. The arch enemy, actually. But while competent, perhaps it is not great art, especially, truth be told. It is rather raw. However, it has holy significance in itself. And so, Johannes, you actually heard that the Grand Theogonist has always resisted occasional campaigns to have it moved somewhere else and replaced by a finer statue, of which the temple, of course, has several. Johannes and Lambert and Gaston, you are staying outside while while Gustav and Johannes, you enter the interior of the Great Temple of Sigmar. Of course, you practically need to stand in a line for maybe like a minute or two, because so many people are entering and exiting this grand cathedral, especially during such troubled times. There are naturally temple guards on both sides of the grand door. Perhaps they are not priests per se, but they certainly do look like warrior priests, bald men with war hammers and half-plate armor, dressed in long liturgical robes with twin-tailed comets and symbols of a hammer. They are very thorough when it comes to scrutinizing people coming in and out of the place.
I'm surprised this isn't more your thing, Gaston.
I'm not in there.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say that you let's just say that you told him when you were like approaching this place. Sure.
Well, look, it's not a Grail chapel, so I don't care.
But you can get your armor blessed. I mean, the more blessings, the better.
Why would I need it blessed by some idiot with a hammer?
Okay, alright.
I can walk in.
So, I have a question as to whether or not there are vendors.
Fortunately, no one heard that. I just wrote, but yeah. Vendors here? No, there are no vendors here. This is a holy place. There are no street vendors here. No, peddlers. No, nothing like that. The Kaiserplatz per se is generally very heavily patrolled by the Reichsguard and the elite regiments of the city's, city's army and watch.
I was just hoping to buy some prayer beads.
You can buy them in the temple, you know that, for of course much higher price than you normally would. And there are lots of liturgical and faith-oriented shops nearby. We're on a mission, but I'd probably buy, for lack of a better word, a rosary while I'm there. No worries. So anyway, of course, as I mentioned before, probably a few times, but let's just do it one more time for Sigmar's sake. The Great Temple is easily the largest temple in the city. It faces the Imperial Palace across the Kaiserplatz. And naturally, the temple complex includes a large number of buildings. It's not a single building. The most important being the main sanctuary of Sigmar, which is the place that you are right now walking inside. This is a large hall, T-shaped, and said to be exactly proportional to Sigmar's famed magical warhammer Galmaras, with the crossbar of the warhammer's T in the south. Now, Gaston and Lambert, you stayed outside, while Johannes and Gustav, you went inside. And once within, the smells of the street are overpowered by the smell of hundreds of people in a confined area. This also mixes with the the incense fumes that are very prevalent in these in the insides of this temple. So the smell inside the temple is very strong, and it's at the same time pleasant and unpleasant, if this makes sense. It's certainly quite something. And while the temple is big, there are still enough people inside that their sweat dominates the odors found within. Naturally, as all temples of Sigmar, the sanctuary doesn't have pews. All worshippers must stand, of course. The roof soars over 20 yards into the air, topped by solid vaulting. The hall is aisled. The roof in the aisle is a mere 10 yards from the ground. Gustav and Johannes, you see great arches springing from marble pillars support the upper walls, and in the center of each arch stands a statue of a great Sigmarite hero, twice the size of a man. There are 12 arches on each side, honoring a total of 24 heroes. Among them, interestingly enough, is a bronze statue of the dwarf High King Kargan Ironbird, the dwarf whom Sigmar saved, and who actually gave him his magical warhammer. Yeah, of course, stained glass windows everywhere, depicting famous scenes from the life of Sigmar. 12 on each side of the sanctuary. Hundreds of people inside, not only the faithful but also priests, temple guards. What's the word? Not the runner, but young boys who essentially deliver messages back and forth, right? Stuff like that. It's also most of the stuff is also mostly male dominated. There are a few women here and there, but this is a sausage fest, naturally. And you see right as you enter, of course, that in front of in the south central wall of the temple is a great stained glass window depicting the Battle of Blackfire Pass. Sigmar, larger than all the other figures, standing in the center surrounded by his human and dwarf allies, swinging his great warhammer to crush the twisted greenskins before him. Interestingly, the orcs and goblins in this window are depicted with many mutations to emphasize the double row of Sigmar's fight against both greenskins and the archenemy. In the sky over his head, the twin-tailed comet shines brightly, and in front of the window is a mighty statue of the God King himself, over 20 feet tall, his warhammer cradled and ready for action. A gift from the dwarves. Supposedly this statue is generally agreed to be an artistic masterpiece. Before the statue, under the center of the dome, stands the high altar, the holiest place of the Sigmarite faith. You, without any mistake, are probably in the most holiest of places in the entire Altdorf. You know that. Even you, Gustav, you are, if I recall correctly, you are not a Sigmarite, but this place gets to you. Yeah, I mean, it's impossible not to be awed by the sheer grandeur of this building and all that it represents. And Johannes, since you are a Sigmarite, I presume that you feel right at home. So you are trying to find someone to talk to, right?
Yes. Well, I want to make a donation of a shilling.
There are donation boxes, of course, in regular places, usually guarded by a young cleric, making sure that no one is stealing from them, of course. So you approach one of the boxes and you place a shilling. The cleric bows low and says, "Blessings of the God King be with you," and smiles at you.
Be with you as well.
He simply nods. Yeah, he also does that. But you see, the moment you put the coin in, and after he spoken the formula, blessings, blah blah blah, he's already not looking at you. He's already looking at other potential donors. Because let's be honest, of course, Sigmarite faith is all about those sweet donations, right? Practically every single organized faith.
Yeah. Yeah. So I rather than distract him from his holy duty, I will look around for somebody who looks like a priest.
There are lots of them. I mean, but tell me, do you want to approach as normal, quote-unquote, priest, or are you looking for a warrior priest? There are a few priests here who are looking like true warriors with warhammers slung over their backs or at their hips, and wearing not only their holy robes but also, armor, and they also look like they certainly know how to fight. It's not just for show.
So point of order.
Mm-hmm.
Would I address them as father or brother?
No, you would address them as father. You're no brother to them. You're not a priest, and saying. Yeah.
You address them as daddy.
Yeah, daddy.
Daddy. Okay.
You know that if you would address them as brother, the older priest or the warrior priest, it could probably be even viewed as an affront. A younger priest or a normal one, you could potentially call brother, although it's risky. It's risky.
Right. Well, I was just thinking in terms of gut because Johannes definitely knows. Sean does not know.
Mm-hmm. No worries.
Just thinking of the concept of the religious knightly orders, and they were all monks, so they called each other they were called monks are usually referred to as brother, and it's only priests that are referred to as father, unless they're like the head monk or whatever.
Yeah.
Anyway, so father. Okay, I will look for the scariest looking warrior priest, and I will approach him.
Yeah, sure. You do that, but my proposition is that we take like a 5-minute break or maybe 10-minute break, okay? And we'll be right back.
Okay, sounds great.
Awesome. Ja potem zmienię. Okay? zrobię. Oszczędź. Okej. Poszedł pokój. Proszę cię, to jest coś, proszę. Nie, to jest. Co? Mgła. Bardzo. Dziękuję. Przepraszam.
I'm back.
Okay.
gonna have to bounce at 2:30.
Okay, so in...
I'm in about an hour and a half. I'm getting word from my mother-in-law.
Okay. Sounds good.
They got something they gotta take care of, so I gotta go pick up my son.
Yeah. I feel like we're close to solving the riddle. But
You said you had to leave, Michael?
I'll have to leave at 2:30,
Okay.
which is an hour and a half for me. It's
okay.
it's okay. I mean, that's most of the session.
yeah.
It's unacceptable.
I apologize. Hey, Andrew, when are we gonna play some Old World?
Well, I'm currently working on them right now while we're doing this game. I've just applied 11 transfers on these shields. All I gotta do is base them now. So.
Yeah, no big. Yeah, it's fine.
I'm here.
No, I'd like to get at least, like I said, maybe do a 500 point something, just test it out, and then even if I just have some unpainted models, we can do it that way too.
That's fine, man. I've just been painting. I've got a commission I'm doing for a guy that's trading me some troglyphs that I can paint up as stone trolls. So I'm painting his gnome Blood Bowl team for him.
Okay.
So, Michael, I've heard that you have to leave in like an hour or something, right?
About an hour and a half. My in-laws have to go into work because my father-in-law can't drive. My mother-in-law has to take him. So I will be going to pick up my son in about an hour and a half.
Yeah, sure. That's actually perfect because I also wanted to finish it a bit early today. So, yeah.
How are things on the notion of kids? Because I know there's 2 people in here that are expecting. How are things going with that?
Very fine. Yeah, very good.
All right.
And Andy, I hope that you as well, right?
Oh yeah. We had our 20-week scan a couple weeks ago, and everything was good.
Yeah.
So.
Same on our part. Yes.
I don't know if I can make it to Michael's baby shower, but I can probably make it to Andy's.
Right. It will be hard. I mean, we don't really do them here in Poland generally. So, but thanks.
You don't do gender reveal parties in Poland?
It'll be so embarrassing.
No.
Flown 15 hours. And...
No. We don't. We're also not burning. We're also not burning huge parts of our forest while doing so. Yeah.
I sent you that guy. You guys that one that was the
wrestling one, whatever. Yeah. Was it like it was little people wrestling too, or something?
Oh yeah.
I think one guy was a little person and the other.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it was over the top bonkers.
But that was cool. That was actually very, very original, right?
Yeah, definitely better than the stupid people shooting off fireworks. And,
yeah.
Setting half of California on fire.
Yeah. By the way,
not that it generally doesn't help that.
I wonder how big of a fine those people had to pay because they were like, they were charged, right? After doing so.
Sure.
I believe so. Yeah. Unfortunately, you never really get a follow up on those unless you really look for it. But yeah, I think they say like this is how much it costs for us to hire all these firefighters.
Yeah. I can imagine that was cheap.
There's a bad one now just north of Chico in Northern California.
Like a bad fire, right?
Yeah, bad fire in I think it said it was in a national park. My cousin.
Oh shit.
One of my cousins sent a thing showing the area, and there's like 5,000 acres a day just burning up.
No, it was an hour this morning. 5,000 acres an hour.
Okay. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's
I bet.
pretty
I mean,
bad.
like, California is a beautiful state and everything, but the fact that it catches on fire every fucking year.
Yeah.
Why the hell would you live there?
Well, I mean, that's what, all my relatives are asking me when I'm coming back, and I'm like, well, never. I mean, California's great, but it's like, too many fucking people, the pollution is really bad pretty much everywhere.
Like, oh, there's an earthquake, go outside. We can't, there's a forest fire.
Really?
Oh, there's a mudslide. Shit.
Pollution there is bad. I've always heard that California is one of the greener states in your country, or is that not true?
Well, I mean that is true that legally it's green. The reason that they have to do all that shit is because there's so much pollution. I mean, essentially now, like like if you drive, like say we used to drive to Los Angeles from Phoenix a lot. And I would say you're probably still maybe like 2.5, 3 hours away from Los Angeles, and you're already seeing the effects of the smog in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And then similar thing, like you go. Well, I mean, it's like that here actually in Phoenix, where you get days where there's just I don't know if it's an inversion layer or what, but you just get like you can see a layer of funk. On top, in the sky on top of the valley. Because where I live, I drive down into Phoenix, so you see like this like cloud hanging over the city. Sometimes.
And this sucks. Well, at least you are living in a state in which they in which Breaking Bad took place, right?
No, that's New Mexico.
That's New
Really?
Mexico.
Oh, okay. I thought.
That's next door.
Oh yeah, Albuquerque was in New Mexico. True. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, of course.
No, at least I live in a state where I can walk into a sporting goods store and buy as much ammunition and guns as I want and walk out.
Well, that's pretty much all in there.
Yeah, I wanted to say, isn't that like everywhere in the states?
Not in California, it's not, because just for shits and giggles, my brother was like, oh yeah, I'd like to start. I helped my dad with the gun he had, and then I was like, huh, I wonder where you could go. It's like I have no idea where to buy a freaking gun.
Really?
In California, I mean, you could buy like I went. I didn't. I was looking and I was like, okay, this one place has a lot of like fuck the governor T-shirts and things, and things like that. But when you look to see what kind of guns they have in stock, they don't have anything listed.
Oh, actually, I've heard that California has some strange gun laws regarding the length of the barrel, stuff like that. That apparently you could only buy very short weapons. Of course, I'm talking about as someone who's not living there and only reading about this.
Yeah, I would think it's probably easier to buy rifles and shotguns, like normal stuff like that. But like maybe handguns and like AR-15s are probably not hard or are not easy to get there.
Okay.
Right. Well, and also the main thing they have is like the limitation on magazine size. Like you can't buy more than a 10 round magazine.
Okay, so you can only kill 10 people with it at any given time. Okay, makes sense.
I mean, when I'm mad, I don't want to reload.
Of course. Okay, yeah. Well, state sounds fun. Well, like we're getting back just a few years, like maybe a few years ago. Well, back when I was high school, I really wanted to live there, but now I would. I mean, this is a fantastic country, and I visited once. I was on the East Coast in 1999, I think, 2000, like year before the 9/11, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Jesus Christ, when I read about all of the shootings, the stuff, I would be probably terrified. Like, I'm impressed with. I don't know how you guys manage it. Yes, from what I read, you can go down the street and suddenly there's a guy saying, like in Poland, someone can approach you and say, "Well, I don't like your face," right? And he's going to maybe shove you or maybe even hit you, but that's it. He won't even pull a knife unless you're in a really shit part of the city or in shit part of the country. But like in the States, someone can approach you, say, I don't like your face, and then you say, well, like, fuck you or something, and then he takes out a Glock and he shoots you, and that's like, well, how can you do with that, right?
I mean, you can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
that's the thing is,
even if you have your own gun, that's not going to do you any good, right? Because, well,
I mean, so that's what appears to be the rationale of people who are fervent about the Second Amendment is that, well, I need a gun because other people have guns. I'm like, yeah,
Right.
I mean,
Well,
that's really what it boils down to. But the thing is I mean, here in Arizona, I do occasionally see people open carrying,
mm-hmm.
and I personally don't like it. I think they're pussies, but that's just me.
That you can open carry means that you walk with your gun in a holster for everyone to see, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, fully visible. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the other thing is that in
And
this
some
state-
people have like full tac vests and like a AR-15 or something. Sometimes, and they say they're testing their constitutional rights and all this. They're just being assholes.
Really?
Right. Well, yeah, no. Well,
Yeah.
that's the
Jesus.
thing. Yeah, that happens here.
They like
But I
march in
mean-
front of City Hall just because they can, just because they're allowed to.
Right. Well, I think I told you guys that there were like around the time that they raided Mar-a-Lago, there were people that there's an FBI headquarters for Phoenix, not too far from where I live, and there were people that were camping out across the street with ARs, walking around. Going,
Wow.
The FBI can't do that. Blah, blah, blah. They stayed the fuck on their side of the street though.
Yeah. They're trying to bait somebody into doing something. They're trying to bait
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
But
They did
anyway,
that.
yeah. So just the only point I was trying to make was is that although there are a lot of shootings, I mean, in my day-to-day life, I don't worry about being shot.
Right.
Even though if I were to read the news, and especially part of the problem is clickbait. I mean, if you read one story about a shooting somewhere, then everything in your feed is about, oh, these people got shot, and
Right.
I mean, and that that is an unfortunate thing in the U.S. is that there probably are multiple people shot in your town, in every town across the country every day.
Yeah.
But as
It's not like
as an
mass shootings
individual,
necessarily, but just disputes.
yeah. But that's yeah. And I'm not talking about mass shootings. I'm just talking about like, hey, fuck you, like
Over a
road
parking
deal gone
space.
wrong, or or over a parking, exactly, or and me, part of that is yahoos who don't have training, pull out a gun, and carry stick it in their fucking pants and walk around and then shoot people because they hurt their feelings.
I always like found people walking with their guns like in front of their trousers, like not in holster but like behind the belt in front of the trousers. Incredibly funny. Like this is for me such a small dick move. Not only
to blow that dick off, you must have really cut that away.
exactly, and this is dumb because one wrong move, or maybe even the gun was like something internally was wrong, and you can shut your genitals off. Like this is just hilarious. I don't get it.
That's why I personally would never walk around with one in the chamber, but that's just me.
Oh yeah, that's something else. Okay, we can go back. That was very cool discussion. Yeah, differences between cultures and all that. I like that a lot. Okay, so Lambert and Gaston, you are staying outside the Grand Temple, and you can you see that like there are lots of people here, of course, mainly going in and outside the cathedral. No one is bothering you, honestly, and you guess that actually Kaiserplatz is probably the safest place in the entire Altdorf. Not only now during the all of the unrest, connected to Crimson Shade, but in general. I mean, there's the Emperor's Palace right across, and there's the main temple of the main religion, the Empire. But tell me, do you want to do anything, or do you just want to wait for Gustav and Johannes?
I mean, I'm happy to wait here. I think I've pushed my luck far too many times against this place, so I'm just gonna hang out.
Okay.
If
Gaston.
I'm just too overwhelmed to go inside.
No worries. Gaston, you as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Johannes, you are searching for what? You are searching for the most mean-looking warrior priest.
I don't know why to mean it. I don't know why I had to.
Okay. So roll me perception plus 30%. So this is the biggest possible.
So only plus 10.
So only plus 10, yeah, because of your stomach problems.
Okay. Alright.
You are trying very hard not to break. Actually,
well,
I think you've passed. Yeah. That's nice. You are trying very hard not to break wind here, of course, and because of that, you are also squinting slightly, or you're shaking slightly. This is the case of I want to fart so much, but I can't because I'll be in lots of trouble. Eventually, you see this silhouette of.
You know what happens when you fart at church?
Actually, I don't, but I'm sure.
You end up sitting in your own pew.
Kill him, no fate points. Kill him.
Nice.
That is the joke ever.
I thought that was going to be something about some priest and whatnot, but yeah, this is pretty good as well. Anyway, you through the crowds you can see actually the silhouette of this huge, broad-shouldered man, completely bald, heavily tattooed on one side of his face. There are those like lines of scripture, very tiny, tattooed into his cheek and side of the head. He has a half plate on him, very worn and obviously like used many times during actual combat. There's a double-handed warhammer that actually he's not. It's not strapped to his back. He is holding it, like he's shouldering it with one hand, and he's making his way through the temple, scrutinizing everyone. Even from the distance, you can see that his stare is just glacier cold. People actually are moving away from him, like subconsciously sometimes even, because he exerts this aura of pure contempt and and violence, barely held in check. So you approach him, I presume.
Yes.
Of course. Okay,
The guy.
It's me, Daddy.
you approach him and then you can't hold it anymore, and there's this like. Okay, yeah, you approach the man.
A fart soundboard.
You approach the man, you stand in front of him, he stops. You can see that, of course, he also has armor on his legs, and in fact, his boots are probably iron. What's the word? Iron shod? Shod, yeah, iron shod. Because you heard the clank, clank, clank. You sound of iron hitting the stone floor. He looks at you. He's taller than you, by the way, and he's like, "Yes."
Father, I'm coming to you because I feel that you would be able to help me. I need to. It's very urgent that I find Herr Klinger, the witch hunter.
Roll me fellowship plus 30%.
Okay, so plus 10%.
Still.
Yeah, buddy.
Nice. He takes a long look at you, and he approaches you. You can smell incense and sweat coming from him. The lapping powder used for maintenance of his armor. He asks you quietly, actually, deceptively quietly, in fact. Ginter Klinger.
Yes,
that.
Father.
And what would you want from a witch hunter? You don't look like one of his agents. You look like a normal person. No one in their right mind searches for a witch hunter on their own.
Yes, Father. Yes, Father. But I have encountered Herr Klinger before, and I have some news for him that he will be very interested to learn about what we think are heretics.
Heretics, he says. You must be very bold to speak of heresy inside the Grand Temple of Sigmar. You must be very bold.
I hate it.
Or very mindless, he says, and you can see that he's squeezing the handle of the warhammer with his iron fist. You hear metal scratching against leather-bound wood, of course. You know. But I can see that you are not afraid. I can see the fire of Sigmar burning in your eyes. You are no fool. What is your name? I'm Steven. Your name is Johannes Knappen, if I recall correctly.
That's what my real name is, but I
okay.
have a different name.
You want? Okay, let me tell you this. If you're going to tell this man your fake name, this is essentially lying to him. Remember, this is a role.
Right.
So
okay, I will not lie to him because I am stricken with awe the power of the church. I cannot lie to a priest to his face.
Yeah.
So I will say my name is Johannes Knappen, but Herr Klinger knows me by the name Ruprecht.
I like how you gave your real name and it sounded fake as hell.
The priest nods and says, I am Landolorber, warrior priest of the God King. I've entered his name into chat. I will speak to Templar Klinger about you. Please wait under this column, and he points at a nearby column. Wait for my return, and do not dare to exit the temple until I return.
I would not dare to defy a priest of Sigmar.
Are you here alone, or did you brought some friends with you?
I have some friends waiting outside.
Very well. How many?
I think I'm right behind him.
Actually, yeah, you are standing very close, Gustav. Sure.
Outside, and my friend behind me here.
He then looks over your shoulder.
A hint that since he didn't get the hint that he could have pitched out.
Yeah, he looks over your shoulder at you, Gustav. Sorry, over Johannes' shoulder at you, Gustav. He squints his eyes and he says, "You there, boy. Come here."
Step forward.
He scrutinizes you from top to bottom. What is your name?
Gustav.
Gustav who?
Gustav Van Hoek.
I see. A wastelander, eh? You're far away from Marienburg.
Well, even the Marienburgers answered Sigmar's call recently. Many from my city have died.
He barks with laughter, but it's not disrespectful. At least not very much disrespectful, he says. If I recall correctly, there's only a single shrine dedicated to the first emperor in your city. But I am glad to see that you, at least, know how to show him respect. The rest of your friends, they are outside, yes? You don't need to bring them in just yet. I will go to Herr Klinger now, tell him about you, and then he will decide if he wants to speak to you here or maybe outside. or if he even wants to speak to you at all. Wait under this cone and don't move, he says. And with that, he turns around very quickly. For someone, in a heavy plate armor and holding a huge warhammer, he moves deceptively quickly. And he just disappears into the crowd. Johannes and Gustav, you, I presume, stand right next to the column, right?
Yes.
Okay.
That was a mean thing to say.
Sorry, what was that, Michael?
It's the way. Yes.
Ah.
You don't have to sound that scared.
Yeah. Anyway, you wait for like good 15 minutes actually, and this is no joke. Lambert and Gaston, you're also staying outside, waiting. You've been waiting for maybe like 20 minutes total, because Johannes and Gustav had to find the warrior priest, so the sun is not giving you any favors. It is very hot. There's no shade practically. I mean, yeah, sure, you can stand right next to the walls of the cathedral. Maybe there's a bit of shade there, but even so, the weather is just merciless. Gaston, you can practically feel that you are melting under your armor. Still, you wait. Gustav and Johannes, after about 15 minutes, Lando Lorber, which is a very stupid name if I have to be completely honest.
Green Colt 45.
I don't know, but it's from the Empire name generator. But I found it especially funny, so I've given it to him. So anyway, warrior priest Lando Lorber returns. All business, and of course, he approaches you and says, "Well, you're in luck, Johannes Knappen. Templar Klinger actually." What's the word? He told me that he does indeed know you and your friend here, the Wastelander, and he will be very happy to hear your report. But he also told me to bring the rest of your friends with you. Where are they?
They're just waiting outside on the front steps.
Then let us go and fetch them, shall we? Lead the way, faithful of Sigmar.
Yes.
And he of course addresses mainly you, even though Gustav, you can tell that that he's also even if not sympathetic, then he doesn't treat you like like so many other Imperials as like not one of them, if not traitor. Because quite a few Imperials, of course, believe that all Marienburgers are honorless scum for making this whole secession thing, right? But the warrior priest seems to be rather well disposed towards you. Anyway, the three of you emerge from the temple. Gaston and Lambert, without even any rows, you can see Johannes and Gustav leave the huge double door leading inside the Grand Cathedral. And right behind them, stomps this ox of a man, warrior priest dressed in half-plate armor, wielding a gigantic warhammer on his right shoulder. And they are all approaching you because, Johannes, I presume that you walk towards your friends, of course. And eventually they stand in front of you. Johannes, are you saying anything?
Good day, gentlemen. Herr Klinger would like to see all four of us.
I am Father Lando Lorber, says the priest. Faithful of Sigmar, warrior priest of his creed. I will bring you to the Templar. What are your names? And he first looks at you, Gaston.
Gaston Leroux.
I see. It's been some time since we've had a Bretonnian guest within the borders of our fair establishment. And what is your name, Halfling?
You're a very big man.
Indeed I am.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just taken back by that. My name is Lambert Cherryheart.
He just nods. He then looks at all four of you and says, "Please follow me." And without, saying anything else, he just turns around and walks towards the entrance. The people are very wisely, of course, getting out of his way, and they are getting out of his way twice as fast when they see that, there's a fully armored Bretonnian knight walking right behind him. And, well, the three of you, like Lambert, Johannes, and Gustav, of course, maybe you're not as awe-inspiring, but still. You've entered the Grand Cathedral of Sigmar. You walk through the entire length of this T-shaped main hall. Eventually, you reach one of the side doors, guarded by a single temple guard. He immediately bowed to your guide, and the guide even told him that I'm bringing this four men to speak with Templar Klinger, and he's like, of course, Father, of course, please enter. And he, of course, opens the door. By the way, you notice that no one, of course, asks you to remove your weapons. It's no problem at all. You can have.
We wouldn't stand a fucking chance.
Yeah, but still, it's probably a slightly nice touch that that they don't want to disarm you or anything. For some time, then for like a good few minutes actually, because this, as I mentioned before, that this temple it's not a single building; it's a whole complex. So you are walking through through this maze of corridors, side corridors, sub corridors, walkways, stuff like that. You are crossing like two different gardens with silent gardeners dressed in long monk-like robes, tending to flowers and to hedges. You eventually approach a smaller building located within in the middle of this complex. It's very unassuming, honestly. It's like a single story, small building with tilted roof. There are no signs outside. There are no, except of course for like the symbol of a comet on the main door. But there's nothing to actually, make it special in any way. Lorber enters inside without knocking. You enter behind him. Inside, you can see that there is only a single room. Windows are few and rather wide, so it's actually rather well lit. Behind the table sits, and I think you've all met him, Gaston, even you, I believe. Although I'm not sure. Günther Klinger, the witch hunter, grizzled man in long leather coat. His tall hat rests comfortably on a coat hanger nearby. There's a pistol in a holster placed on the table. Other than that, you see that there's really no one here. Klinger looks like he's been reading a couple of perhaps reports or something like that. There are a few dozen scattered pieces of paper right in front of him. Lorber, the warrior priest, nods. Actually, he's not bowing, he nods and says, "Templar, I've brought your guests." "Thank you, Father," says Klinger. "I'll take it from here." And with that, warrior priest just turns to all of you, nods respectively, and says, "Best of luck," and leaves. You are alone with Günther Klinger. Now, remind me, Gaston, have you met him or not?
I feel like I have.
Yeah. So,
I feel like it was only unless Lambert met him another time. We only met him it was Gustav, Marla, and myself at the
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
Big Lambert's
Later,
one.
and then later it was just Gustav and myself when we ran into Martha.
I think so. That only two of you met him. Klinger gets up, and he's also actually a very tall man and well built. That said, you think that he is also slightly, if not actually not much older than the warrior priest that brought you here. His face is creased, with what's the word? Wrinkles, right? With wrinkles. He has long. His hair and beard are just gray. He actually has quite a few weapons on him. Only now you notice a rapier strapped to his belt. At least like maybe 3 or 4 daggers. 2 on his forearms, one strapped to his chest. You see another pistol behind his back. Like the man is practically a walking armory. Johannes, Gustav. Actually, no, sorry. You use different names, right? So Ruprecht.
For once.
Sorry, once again, one more time, Brian.
I used my real name for once.
Okay. And you, Johannes?
Yeah, this was the first time he's ever heard my real name.
All right.
To my knowledge.
So he's saying Johannes, Gustav, and when he looks at you, Johannes, you can see that for the first time you probably saw a witch hunter smile slightly. It is not a very pleasant sight. It looks like he just has this nasty grimace on his face, but you guess that it is probably a smile. I'm happy to see you still alive and in good health, relatively speaking, of course, because both of you remember you've been slightly scratched in the sewers by those things.
Slightly, yes.
Yeah. That said, I don't know who your companions are. I can see that this man here, and he looks at Gaston. I would guess a Bretonnian.
Yes, I'm Sir Gaston.
Sir Gaston. Actually, let me roll one thing for him. No, he doesn't recognize your accent. From which dukedom do you hail, Sir Gaston?
Carcassonne.
I see. The mountains, the shepherds, tough men all, he says. Well, it's quite a sight, a Bretonnian knight within the walls of Sigmar's Grand Cathedral. What about you, Halfling?
What about me?
Well, what is your name for starters?
Hi. And I put my hand out to shake.
Mm-hmm. He, after a second's hesitation, yes, he extends his hand and rather gently, actually, shakes yours.
Oh shit! Is this our meet cute?
You don't know.
I am Lambert Cherryheart. Recently, the last living halfling of the Cherryheart clan.
You're related to those poor souls massacred a few days ago near the near Königplatz.
Yeah.
I see, he says. And, he says and he nods. You're not sure if he's pitying you, even if the man doesn't show emotions. Like the warrior priest, cold bastard that he was, showed more emotions than this one. He says, I am Witch Hunter Captain Ginter Klinger of the Order of the Silver Hammer. Well, Johannes, Gustav, I am glad that you returned. I presume that because you have something useful to tell me. Is that right? Actually, you also notice that he doesn't offer you any water, drink, or anything. That said, you don't see anything to offer here. Like, there is no, quote-unquote bar or even a table with a water pitcher and some glasses. There are also no extra chairs in front of the table, so you are all standing. That said, he's also standing in front of the table, so at least there's that.
Sir LaRue and her cherry heart have infiltrated the golden triangle. They could probably provide more detail, but at this point, their cover is blown and they can't go back.
He actually raises one eyebrow when he hears that, and he looks at you, Lambert, and you, Gaston. Is that so? I am impressed.
I'm a small guy.
Once again, Michael, sorry?
I said, I'm a small guy, but I got a big mouth.
I can see that's true. But even so, whose idea was that? A Bretonnian knight, excuse me, Sir Gaston, I mean no disrespect, but your kind is not exactly known for your espionage-related abilities.
It was my idea to infiltrate the Golden Triangle by using my good and mostly right friend Sir Gaston as the proxy for a foreign noble to gain entry.
Very well.
And myself acting.
So you were pretending to be his servant.
Yeah.
Clever, he says. And you actually see that he means it. You think that he's actually rather impressed, even if he's not showing that. Because before he mainly focused his sight on Gustav and Johannes, but now he looks mainly at you, Lambert, and you, Gaston. He's nodding his head. He even actually relaxed his stance a bit. It's not, so ramrod straight as it was before. He's leaning against the table. So, the infiltration, was it successful?
I wouldn't call it that.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we got in.
But did you learn anything?
Yeah, we saw the silver masks there. We saw I turned to Johannes and this is the guy. Was he at the meeting with the Archmage?
No, I think Malgund was.
He's Margan's boss, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, it means he's in the yeah, we saw the silver masks, the elf daggers. Let's see. There was strange fucking vibes I was getting out of the wine cask in the cellar. And they were talking openly about sedition. Seditious behavior.
What kind of seditious behavior, he asks. And who was talking about it, Halfling? The guests? The
guests talking about arranging for the Imperial fleet to not be in the city.
When you mentioned that, you saw his eyes go wide, actually. And he's very quickly turns around. He goes through the pile of papers arrayed on the table, and eventually, he takes out 2 sheets, very quickly scans them, and then nods. Right. So that wasn't an accident. Sigmar have mercy on us. Tell me, did you recognize the man who was talking about the fleet? Was he perchance an older fellow with long, braided, grey beard, dressed perhaps slightly as a sailor or an admiral?
I look around the room and I make very, very light, momentary contact with the priest.
No, the priest is no longer here. The priest left. You are just left with the witch hunter.
Very light momentary eye contact with whichever sign of Sigmar is in the room, and then just say, I'm sorry to offend if anyone's offended in here, but all rich people kind of look the same to me. They were old and they talked like they had a lot of money. I don't know. Sir Gaston was sitting right next to you.
Right.
Yeah, I don't remember. I mean, the only name I remember is Everhard.
Everard, yes, the current owner of the Golden Triangle, Everard Harstein. Spotless reputation, at least as far as we could tell. We haven't found anything heretical about him, and we've searched far and wide, me and my agents. But what you are saying, this is very serious. Actually, few of my men, they managed to discover the sudden and rather uncharacteristic disappearance of the few of the major Imperial First Fleet vessels from Altdorf. They were recalled even beyond the Reichsport to the north. This is very strange, and we've been trying to establish which one of the admirals of the First Fleet was responsible for giving that order, and for what end. This part of Reich and Talabek, they are mostly safe. And I mean, I can imagine any force of pirates, privateers, or shipwreckers to try and assault Altdorf from the river. This is still the capital of the Empire. There's no pirate organization huge enough within the borders of our nation to be able to do that.
Well, I mean, the working theory that we've had so far is the dissemination of Crimson Shade throughout the city is only getting worse.
Indeed.
And it's causing pandemonium in the lower parts of the streets. I can only imagine that's going to affect how much time the watch will have to watch the river versus quashing, upstarts and birds in the streets. I think the whole point is to weaken the security of the city to sneak something in.
He sighs heavily and says, "First of all, I want to congratulate you on a very daring and dangerous mission that you've performed for us, for this nation, all of you. And it's not often that a foreigner risks so much for the Empire." He looks at you, Gaston, of course. "So you have my thanks, and the thanks of this city. What you are saying right now, the masks, the daggers, the seditious talk, I know that you haven't fabricated this. You are all honest men, I can see that. Perhaps some people would disagree. They would say that you are not the archetypical heroes. Well, at least, he again looks at you, Gaston. Not all of you. But I know that the courage can come from the most unexpected quarter. The courage and the willingness to do what's right, what is just and noble. So I believe you, what you are saying here. And now we must act. This is incredibly worrying. The Crimson Shade epidemic. Crimson Shade is a very expensive drug. The fact that it's hitting the streets in such large quantities means that someone is literally throwing money on the streets of Altdorf without any potential return. This is insanity. So we must conclude that there is some kind of hidden sinister agenda. Already thousands of crowns worth of this poison have been distributed throughout Altdorf, and not only through the poorer quarters, like there are reports of unrest, even from the west parts of the city, even from places near Kaiserplatz itself. This is getting out of hand. So this is what we are going to do, and I will ask you to accompany me in this. We will storm the headquarters of the Golden Triangle. Try to capture Everard, Harstein, and as many of his inner circle as possible. Raid their chambers and discover everything that they are hiding there. Question them harshly if needed be, and get to the bottom of this. This is not going to be easy for their headquarters. We've checked that already with what's the word? Cities with cities archives. They are practically like a fortress, but it can be done, and it must be done. Are you willing?
We tried to.
Yes, Lambert, go ahead, please.
I was going to say, like, my compatriots here tried to sneak in through the sewers, but it was probably the worst night to do so with the amount of rain we were having. But I know for a fact that the sewers are a way in, because I sprung the trap door that was in the basement.
The time for...
God, that night.
Sorry, Brian, once again?
I just want to say that our guide perished that night. It was a disaster, but someone did lose their life.
People die so that Empire may live, says the witch hunter. And you can see, the gleam of perhaps merciless fanaticism in his eyes. You know that this man will have no hesitation of throwing lives into the meat grinder if it means that he can essentially accomplish his mission. And I'm sure that his sacrifice will not be in vain, Gustav. But time for guile has ended. Now it's time for action. I will ask all of you to join me. And of course, I can order you, and he says that while smiling very nastily, except maybe for Sir Gaston here. He is, after all, a citizen of a foreign allied country. But I'm not going to, because I would only ask you to join me, not order you. Will you do this?
As a loyal citizen of the Empire, I feel compelled to serve my Emperor.
He looks at you, Gustav.
I nod and don't say anything.
He looks at you, Lambert.
Oh, I just want to kill these fuckers, man. I want to do the same fucking fucked up shit I saw them do to my fucking family.
He nods, and you can see that he 100% understands your approach. And he finally looks at you, Gaston.
I'm in. There's gotta be somebody that needs some killing.
Excellent. In that case, there will be some preparations. I will order a servant to bring you to a nearby waiting quarters, while I arrange for some reinforcements from the Reichsguard barracks as well as Colleges of Magic. It will probably take 2 to 3 hours to accomplish, and I will also fetch for my own Gustav, Johannes, and I think you, Master Cherryheart. I think you've met Margund. She will accompany us together with few other of my agents. This will be a full frontal assault. A show of force, a show of strength, so that everyone may see that the Empire does not suffer heretics lightly, no matter how powerful or influential they are. We will storm through the main gate, and we will take the fight to the enemy with righteous slaughter. He says.
Yes, we must burn it. We must burn their den of iniquity to the ground.
Well, relax. Relax, Johannes. There will be much burning. You don't have to worry about that. But remember one thing. We need to capture Everard. Sorry, Lambert, one more time?
It's like his attitude shifts. It's like, whoa. Calm down, buddy.
But remember, first, we need to capture Everard Harstein and as many of his high-ranking lieutenants as possible alive. We also must secure as much intelligence found within the walls of Golden Triangle as possible. You don't have to worry about those men facing justice. And when it comes to it, Lambert, I think I can arrange you setting the pyrolite yourself, if that is your wish. But while there will be opposition from their guards, from those mirror-masked murderers that you've mentioned, remember, this is a snatch and grab mission, first and foremost. So don't overstep your boundaries. Now, you will be given, those of you, of course, who want it, you will be given gear and weapons for this mission only, of course. The Temple of Sigmar will be more than happy to provide you with necessary protection and armaments. You will I will send a cleric to you with all the necessary instructions. For now, and he takes a small golden bell from one of the drawers in the table, and he rings the bell. For now, you will go to the quarters to prepare yourselves mentally, mostly mentally, and don the gear that will be given to you. A young boy, a cleric probably of like 15 years old, enters the building. He is pale white because he's obviously terrified of the witch hunter, and says, "Yes, Templar? Boy, take these 4 men to nearby waiting quarters, and then find Father Friedel. Take him to them. He will need to take their order," he says. "Yes, of course. Please follow me, my Naren," says the young boy, who is obviously...
I have one thing to request.
"Yes," says Klinger. "What is it?"
Can you use your power somehow to see to it that there are increased patrols near the Shepherd's Wands? We have a friend staying there, and we were staying there until recently.
They were the people that provided us accommodation while we carried out this mission.
I see. And do you think that your friends and this establishment are in peril?
I have given some coin to the establishment to have them hire muscle to help in the defense of this, if it comes to that.
I see. He nods his head. Very well. I can do that, yes. He once again looks at the cleric. And he says, "After you find Father Friedel, bring me Father Naumann. I will need to speak to him about sending a few patrols of the watch near this Shepherd's Wand Inn." Once again, the boy, of course, nods, and then he looks at all of you and says, "Please follow me, my Naren." And he goes out of the building. I presume that you follow him.
Yes, and I would just like to add as we're walking about how we located.
But the witch hunter is no longer with you. He stayed. You are just walking with the kid who is bringing you to one of the smaller side buildings located on the premises of the Grand Cathedral of Sigmar. He's not saying anything, by the way. Yeah.
Okay, because we totally neglected to mention Marina Ackner and how we found the other two buildings.
you guess that there will be time to tell him that as well. When the time comes. But for now, the kid, he led you to this single-story, single-room building. Inside there are just few chairs and maybe like this small, very basic couch for you to sit on. The kid also, just as as you entered the building, he left and then returned like 2 minutes later with two wine wine sacks full of water. And he gave them to you, saying that, well, for now he can't give you anything else, but this should help with the thirst. And yeah, you are all very thirsty, and then he left the building, and he didn't lock the door behind him. I mean, he closed the door, but you didn't heard the key being turned in the lock. So you are all in this small, very small actually building with the water. You are probably waiting to be summoned once again to see Klinger. Are you talking about anything with each other? Are you discussing anything?
We should have done this from the start.
Yeah, probably. But I'm just happy that we'll be able to make those fuckers pay for what they did to your family, Lambert.
This isn't even home.
Lambert, sorry, once again.
I'm sorry.
Moving.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have words for it. But I've got a lot of sharp shit that I plan to put in people.
Yeah. We'll pay them back 100-fold.
Yeah.
Bring the hammer of righteousness down upon them.
Are you?
I'm avoiding eye contact and not saying anything to anybody.
Yeah. Gaston, are you saying anything?
I'm just daydreaming about getting to kill people again.
Yeah.
In my head.
I figured as much.
Sitting there smiling with a serious look on my face, but inside, like, seriously happy. Just like...
It's been over 12 hours since I killed anybody.
Oh boy, I can't for Gaston to get the first mental, instability, of course. Being possessed by a cornate demon is a must, I think, in his case. Yeah. No, just kidding, man. Yeah, sounds fair. So anyway, you are waiting for like an hour, and then probably a second hour. Of course, you don't have any watches or clocks or anything like that, so you can't really track the time all that well. But the wait is long. The wait is actually very long, and you are grateful for those two rather large wineskins, because even though the water inside is of course like lukewarm and slightly brackish, it helps a lot. But mostly, what is what's giving you the most grief is the waiting, the whole waiting process. Just minute after minute, and then hour after hour. No one is visiting you. No one is coming nearby. The building has windows. They are smaller than the one in which Klinger was apparently, had his office. But you can see the outside of this section of the temple, and sometimes, of course, you see people, passing by, mostly priestly folk of all sorts. A few temple guards here and there, but you don't see anyone very characteristic. But after probably at least 3 hours, where there's the saying, I don't know if you have the saying in the States, we have saying in Polish that you are walking on the ceiling when you are either incredibly bored or very anxious to do something. So you felt like you are actually going to start walking on the ceiling from all the waiting. The door opens, and this is the young kid, the young initiate, like probably like said 15 years old. Spots on his face, of course. You know, his hair is cut in this manner. Like if you watch In the Name of the Rose movie, then you know what kind of hair Christian Slater had there. This is the exact same haircut. And he says, Mynaren, you are I've been ordered to bring you to Templar Klinger and the rest of the War Council, he says, in this rather old voice. So, are you following?
Yes.
Very well.
Without question.
Yeah. You exit the place, and once again, of course, you can see from the sun in the sky that this is probably early afternoon, like in our terms, perhaps 1 p.m. or 2 p.m., stuff like that. So of course it is not noon, but it's still incredibly hot, punishingly hot. The kid is actually leading you in a completely different way, but you are passing the small one-story building in which Klinger spoke to you, and you are entering a larger complex of buildings. This one couple stories high, like 2, 3, maybe even 4. They are all, of course, magnificently made, very well crafted from stone and wood, mostly stone, and they also look more like perhaps castellos, you know, like they have some defensive capabilities, narrow windows, you know, blank, stuff like that. Sorry, battlements. Blanks, it's in Polish it means battlements. So anyway, and he leads you up the stairs to the 3rd floor, stops in front of a huge double door made from sturdy wood reinforced with iron, you know, guarded by two temple guards. They actually cross their hammers in front of the door, and he says very quickly, although, you know, coughing slightly because of all the running up the stairs, I'm here to bring those men to Templar Klinger for the War Council meeting. And without saying a word, the 2 guards, of course, you know, they take back their weapons, like remove their weapons. One of them opens one side of the door, one wing of the door, the other wing, and they both say almost at the same time, "You may enter." And so the kid enters inside, practically prostrates himself in front of Ginter Klinger and like perhaps 24 people other than him who are in this very large room, and says, Herr Templar, the guests, I brought them here. Templars, of course. Templar in question says, "Good, you can leave now, boy." The kid just runs outside. The door closes behind him and behind you, and you can see the entirety of the room, made completely from stone, with lots of Sigmarite symbols placed on the walls, on the shields and armor, located under the walls, on the stained glass, on the few stained glass windows that are actually here. There's there are like 4 connected tables in the middle of it, filled with various papers, maps, scrolls, scroll tubes actually, You see Günther Klinger. Of course, you recognize him. You recognize some of you, Malgund Outman. Although I think that no, Gaston. Actually, you weren't in the Gold College, right? Gaston, you stayed outside when.
No, I went inside.
No, they forced him to come in.
Okay.
They relented on the weapon thing.
Yeah. So you also see Malgund Outman, and you guess witch hunter apprentice or maybe a junior witch hunter. Tall. Powerful built woman, not especially feminine, but definitely, no, with this no business attitude. You see that there are, Gaston, perhaps you are most interested in that, because you see that there are like 10 knights inside. You can clearly see that they are of the knightly orders, in polished silver armor, covered in very impressive looking ornamentation, with red sashes on their helmets that they are holding under their arms. Of course, their swords at their hips. They all have this aristocratic look. You can read Gaston or not? I don't think you can, right?
No, I don't think I can.
Lambert, but you can read, yes? And Johannes and Gustav.
Yeah.
Okay. Gustav, you can as well? Brian?
Gustav?
Oh. Actually, sorry, BRB.
Back.
Yeah, I could read. I was muted.
Dziękuję ci.
I'm back.
I think maybe he had to jump off real quick too.
Oh, Brian. I don't know. What's happening?
No.
Sorry, I
No, you're good. I think
desperately had to go to the
Michael.
bathroom. Oh,
No, I think
he has to leave.
Michael, not Michael Dottie.
Oh.
The other Michael jumped off real quick.
Okay. Oh. Yes, Lando Calrissian Lorber. But I assume we're wrapping up now.
Yeah, I think we're
fairly soon. Yeah.
But yeah. I like it was like, why didn't we do this in the first place? Like, well, we needed proof, right? We're getting proof first.
Yeah, it's true. I guess if we went in there and just like told them that we thought something, it probably wouldn't have, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, maybe the night of the party we should have showed up with the Templars, but oh well.
Maybe. Yeah.
Now that people are starting to change their avatars, I need to. Although I didn't see where Gustav changed his, at least not his little one.
No, I did buy the Roll20 account one. I just added a mustache to it.
Yeah.
It's the same picture otherwise.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Mustache and goatee. He looks like
Yeah.
he looks like Doc Holliday from Tombstone. Al Kilmer.
Whatever do you mean?
Yeah. Yes, I unfortunately I have to finish this mission with -20 to all my stats.
Yeah, that sucks.
Like, sneak.
That's a good looking knight there.
Yep. Well, I found a new picture for myself, but I need to see if I can use it a little. I put it as my picture.
Huh? He must have got called away by his wife or something.
How that goes.
Yeah.
I'll trade you there, Andrew.
Trade me what?
The picture you sent.
Oh, I thought you were gonna trade him wives.
Yeah, that's what that was. All right. Well, I can't.
The butter.
Right.
Okay. Well, we'll
Tell you what.
I'm here.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, there
make
it is.
sure to hide my body well.
Okay. You're running away, Michael, right?
Yeah, I'm running away.
Okay, no worries. Right, so we'll talk about next game date after, so no worries. Okay, later.
I love you, boys. Bye bye.
We love you too, man. Bye. Okay. So the those of you who can read. So Lambert, Johannes, and Lambert is not here, but Johannes and Gustav. I presume that you guys can read, right?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, sorry, Brian, you here or not?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can see that on the 10 knights present here, on their polished, almost silver-like armor, there are, of course, various words in Reichsprint classical language, words naturally like Sigmar, Karl Franz, Empire, but also the one that is repeating itself, Reichsguard. The one man leading them, they are all helmetless, by the way. Their helmets in their hands. The man leading them is a blonde fellow with very impressive mustache and a very haughty aristocratic look on his face, who very quickly scrutinizes all of you as you enter, having practically nothing but disdain. You can tell that for you, Gustav, Johannes, and Lambert, and Gaston, you can see that when he looks at you, there's this strange mix of respect and perhaps a challenge in his eyes. Other than that, there's like maybe 6-7 people dressed. They can be described as mercenaries, but you guess that they are not. Men and women, armed and armored in various ways. Some of them looking familiar. By that I mean, of course, they look certainly imperial. Some of them not exactly. You see one man having rather dusky skin and not really found in these parts of the world, and armed with a wide-bladed, curved sword at his hip. There's a woman with rather oriental features, leaning against a long polearm, ended with again wide blade, which has this like, and Sean, you probably will correct me because I know that you've studied martial arts. What's the name for this like piece of material at the top of the guandao blade? You probably will know that.
Usually it's red dyed horsehair.
Yeah, something like that. Exactly that.
I forget what we call it. I forget what the specific name of it is.
Yeah.
But on the guandao, it's usually like a little tassel attached by a ring.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
The spear, it's kind of jammed near the head of the spear, and so they had lots of theories about what it was all about, but mostly it's just it's sort of a confuser.
Yeah, distraction. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Same with the Dao swords, right? That they had those ribbons at the end, so to confound the enemy.
Yeah. So there you have pieces of silk tied to the pommel, usually. Exactly. Okay, so she's got that.
Yeah, and she's also dressed in this rather interesting mix of classical, imperial garb and Far Eastern, almost look like silken robes. Foreign silken robes. Of course, you don't know Far Eastern. But what is common for all those men and women is that they are armed to the teeth, just additional weapons in forms of throwing daggers and axes, extra swords, firearms. You can see one bear of a man with this crimson bird sporting, a huge blunderbuss on his back. Another person that is rather not fitting, perhaps the rest of this group, is a very elderly man, thin, incredibly thin, not muscular at all, with his long neck almost jutting upwards, like he looks like a vulture almost. He has thin spectacles on his nose. He's dressed very well, except for the fact that his clothes are stained with soot, and over his doublet he has this apron with various pouches full of strange tools, like pliers, hammers, cudgels, stuff like that. He constantly fidgets with a piece of what looks like few cogs connected together, and he just he moves them with this mechanical sound. It's almost like he's trying to calm himself when he does that. You're not sure. And finally, and Gustav and Johannes, you can't really believe your eyes when you see that, there's a dwarf. And not just any dwarf, you saw him before. Actually, you even worked with him before. Usarlun Thundercoat, the Slayer. He has the widest, biggest shit-eating grin when he sees both of you. And he barks out with laughter. Ha ha! Manlings! Fancy seeing you here! I knew that our paths will cross eventually. Grimnir be praised! You can see that if the wounds dealt to him by the minions of the necromancer, the dark magic user from outside the city, they have healed. He, of course, is heavily tattooed, has this huge red crest on his head, 2 axes placed behind his belt, and a single double-bladed axe on his back. And to complete the entire Slayer shtick, of course, he looks positively deranged. I see you brought some friends with you, tiny man, and I think you are a Bretonnian, yes?
Indeed.
Nice meeting you. You Bretonnians are all tough. Well, you Bretonnians, the knights, the bow-wielding ones, not so tough, but the knights, pretty tough. Ha! It will be good to fight side by side with a Bretonnian again. I did it a few times, was always positively surprised.
Looking forward to it as well.
Yeah. Johannes, Gustav, are you saying anything or are you doing anything?
I'm gonna say his wound is healed incredibly.
Oh yes, those that hired scum, they weren't to be my doom. No, Grimnir has something bigger in store for me. Something that I am very keen to meeting soon, I hope. And when he says that, he looks at Klinger. Johannes, you were saying something also? Sorry.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, good to see you again, Herr Thundercoat, and I hope you meet your doom this time.
I sure will. But tell me, where's the fine lass that was with you, eh? She fought like she fought like Valaya herself in that stable.
Yes, we're trying to spare her any more danger if we can help it.
Ah, yes, I know that. It's something in your manning culture, protecting the fairer sex, eh? I've heard about this. Yes. Well, good for you. We Davi understand this pretty well. We are also trying to keep our womenfolk from the front lines, but mostly because of and you see that his overall jolly demeanor slightly dims slightly, mainly because there are just so few of us these days, but anyway. Excuse me, Master Thundercoat, says Ginter Klinger, but I would like for us to begin this console. Of course, Templar. Don't mind me, I'm just killing some time with conversation before the actual killing, he says. But with that, you see that he goes quiet like. Klinger does the gesture of everyone to gather around the tables, the connected tables, which I presume everyone does. You are standing right next to Klinger's agents. You guess mercenaries perhaps is a bad choice of words, for they do not really act like mercenaries, but like very motivated, very professional force. The Reichsguard are, of course, keeping to themselves and making sure not to stand too close to anyone in this room. Their arrogance is clear, even though Gaston, especially, you can see that all of them are clearly seasoned warriors, and they know they know well enough how to wield the blade. Yosarlun is standing slightly to the side, mainly because he smells very strongly. By that I mean he stinks. And the small like the thin, tall, spectacled man is just still fidgeting with the caulk contraption before Klinger gives him a side look, and he pockets the device very quickly into his apron. There's a moment of silence and Klinger speaks. First of all, I want to thank everyone in this room for arriving at the Temple of Sigmar so quickly. The situation is dire. There are heretics here in the city. And I know that's nothing new. Heretics are everywhere in our fair empire, sadly. But these ones are the most dangerous kind, because they are men and women with power, money, and influence that they are using to destabilize the capital of our fair nation. I don't need to tell you that we just finished one of the worst conflicts in our empire's history. We emerged victorious, also because of our allies, and he looks at you, Gaston, and you see that he nods with respect to you. And he also looks at you, Salun, because the dwarves also helped the empire in the Storm of Chaos. And I don't need to tell you that despite what official propaganda says, the Empire is still vulnerable, still reeling from the onslaught from the Northern powers. Those men and women centered around one Everard Harstein, they want to take advantage of that. They are flooding the streets of Altdorf with crimson shade, a powerful drug, incredibly addictive, which turns people's minds into mush, turns them into berserkers, more akin to the accursed Northmen than good, honest people of the Empire, of civilized lands. Because of those men here, and he sweeps his hand towards Gaston, Lambert, Johannes, and Gustav, we managed to discover their plans, and I think it will be much better for those men whose sacrifices and heroics were able to uncover Harstein's plot, to explain it to all of you. And as he says that, you can even hear one of the race guards is like, he's just, he made this rather dismissive sound, with his mouth, but he's not saying anything. The rest are just listening, without saying a word. You also know that one of you will probably need to explain what happened. That the witch hunter just offered one of you to speak before the assembled war council. Which one will it be? You know that you have split seconds to start talking before before the moment is gone.
Okay, I thank you, Herr Klinger. Yes, we have uncovered these dastardly villains and their club, the Golden Triangle, and it appears they are in league with a woman, one Gorina Ackner, who appears to be, who is more than she seems. She claims to be a noble from none, but displays no heraldry and in some regards appears to be not even a human being, but some other race. Is it? I forget what the term is. Race
is perfect. When you're saying that one of the race guards, you think their leader, the tall man with blonde hair and very nicely waxed blonde mustache, says, "Be more specific." He wouldn't call you knave. Be more specific, man. What kind of race? Are you saying that she's masquerading as a human? Is that it?
Yes, I believe she's masquerading as a human, and I'm just trying to remember if we know that she's a dark elf.
You have a big suspicion that she is, especially after talking to Archmagisterix Nowitzki, because she told you about the daggers, about Ifilmar, stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, we're leaning towards the fallen kin of the what are they called in here? Eldar.
You mean Sarlun actually, says, you mean she's an Elgi, one of the oath breakers, one of the elves? Oh, then it's no wonder why you have so many problems here. It's all because of the elves.
Yes, I don't. There a particular branch of elves though that are even worse.
When you're saying this, there's this silence, and Klinger looks at you and says, "So you are saying that she's a Drukai, one of the so-called dark elves? You have a proof of that?" The Drukai, they are not known for their. They are raiders. They are pirates, slavers. but they are not known
Right.
for their subtle ways within the realms of men. It is very hard for them to remain incognito here.
Yes, the only indication that we have is that when the Gold College analyzed one of the ceremonial daggers, they said it was laced with Ithilmar, which led them to believe that they were Drukari, as you say.
Margun says, Master, this would also make sense given the Cainite symbology and what happened to her Cherryheart's family. The symbols on the walls painted in their blood, they were prayers to Cain, but not the ones used by human cultists of this vile god. They were an Elfarin, or rather some variation of Elfarin. We know that the Dark Ones, according to what our Asur allies told us, we know that they worship this bloody god. They claim him as their main deity. And when she says that there's this silence, there's this long silence, and actually most of the people look around, look at each other rather uneasily. You can see that even the Reiksguard have been taken aback by this. Eventually, the witch hunter, gestures at you, Johannes, to continue.
So we have located her dwelling and two buildings that she traveled to, but we were unable to get inside because it appeared that they were very well guarded, and so we were only able to infiltrate the Golden Triangle, and not even that very successfully. But we fear that she may be storing the Crimson Shade in one of these buildings, and distributing it from there, if not from the Golden Triangle itself.
The man in spectacles, the thin man says, but what would be their what would be their goal with flooding the streets of Altdorf with Crimson Shade? It is a very, very expensive drug. I've heard about from some of my contacts in the northern provinces about those elven raiders. They usually just raid coastal towns and villages, kidnap as many people as possible, take them to their ships, and then sail away. This doesn't really make any sense, if I can be so bold as to say it. And when he says that, a few people are actually nodding their heads, and they're like, both the acolytes and the Reiksguard, they're like, yeah, this doesn't make any sense.
Well, but where I think it doesn't make sense if you care about expenditure of money and making a profit, but it makes sense if you're trying to destabilize the city. And I think we had evidence of that the other night when there were riots. That the permeation of drugs throughout our fair city have caused great confusion and chaos, for lack of a better word.
Do not. You are interrupted by the witch hunter and says, "Please do not use that word here." But continue, nonetheless.
Okay. Well. So, just creating strife within the city, and I think it would make it easier for them if they they're trying to destabilize our city so that they can come in and then perhaps they want to enslave. But I think what they really want is just to have our our soldiers, our fleets, fighting our own populace rather than fighting them. I think that's ultimately what they want.
One of the witch hunter's agents a man with this short mohawk and heavily scarred face says, but that doesn't make any sense if you take into consideration the fact that practically the entire First Fleet left Altdorf and moved beyond Reichsport to the north. There are no warships here, no sailors, no marines, and the riots that you are talking about, yes, they are happening all across the town, but so far none of them was especially threatening. I mean, few buildings burned down, true. That said, they didn't target the grain silos, for example. They didn't target any of the important buildings in the city, like the palace or the temple of, like the Emperor's Palace or the Temple of Sigmar. They are completely random, and while of course dangerous, they are, well, they're not destabilizing, and you see that the rest of his colleagues and the witch hunter himself, they nod their heads when he's saying that.
Well, I think that's just because they haven't finished out their plan. This is only that we've caught it in the early steps.
There's this silence as you are, continuing. I don't know if you are continuing or just.
Well, I mean, I'm waiting for their reaction. But I mean,
they're not saying anything.
Okay.
They are looking at you, wondering if you will continue to say anything.
Well, I'll finish up by saying this. It's like, yes, none of this makes sense, but these who knows what the motivations of these strange dark elves are. They make no sense to Sigmar fearing citizens of the Empire, but they're obviously doing something that with the intent to harm our fair city and our empire by extension.
Klinger looks at the rest of you, at Lambert, Gaston, Gustav, wondering if any of you will want to add something.
I want to sit this one out.
Okay.
I have nothing to say.
Gaston, what about you?
I don't think so. I don't think I have anything to really add.
I would also add.
Go ahead.
I would also add that they appear to have subverted some very wealthy and powerful individuals in the form of the members of the Golden Triangle, and I think that in and of itself is concerning.
Well, with that, Klinger says, that is concerning indeed, Herr Knappen. You are fully right. We've been researching this whole Golden Triangle, Crimson Shade deal for the last couple of days, mainly because we've been asked to by the higher authorities of the Church of Sigmar, who were asked by relatives of the few rich merchant and noble families that have been the victims of Crimson Shade, like the Schnitzers. And after that there was this tragedy, and he looks at Lambert, that befell her Cherry Heart's clan. You can almost hear Lambert, grinding his teeth when he hears that. And this is what we've found so far, what we've deducted so far. The Golden Triangle Club, all of the records of its original inception, of whom created it, etc., they are practically gone. We know that it has been created probably over 100 years ago, but records from the city, records from the city archives, they are incomplete, almost as if someone removed them at some point, or rather destroyed them. There are no copies, no additional information. And honestly, if you wouldn't found out about this whole club business, no one would probably be even aware of that Golden Triangle is one huge mystery. This is the first part. The second part is that lots of influential people belong to this club, the Club of Explorers. One of them, and this is something that we managed to piece because of the missing ships. One of them is a man which perhaps some of you know. His name is Ubaldo Menzik. He is an admiral in the Emperor's First Fleet. One of the admirals here. Supposedly, he is a good friend of Everard Harstein, and a long supporter of the club. He even donated a rather substantial amount of money over the last dozen or so years to the club. He is also completely in his power to order the entirety of the First Fleet to leave Altdorf. At least, however, says Klinger, while pointing a single finger up. What all of us need to understand is that someone sooner or later will find out about this. Will find out that though ramshackle and old they may be, the warships of the Emperor's First Fleet are no longer not only in Altdorf but even in Reichsport, and they will start asking questions, and Menzik will have to answer them. So whatever he did here, he did it because he's on a timer, essentially, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Something must happen soon. Something that required him to remove the entire fleet. Now this is where we go slightly further to the Great Halfling Massacre, as it is already known in Altdorf, when he said that you can practically hear Lambert, inhale loudly. We've talked with a few of our colleagues from Temples of Verena and Shalia, and in fact with few of our own exorcists from Sigmarite Temple. The bodies, the mutilation, the horrifying blood sigils inside, they were not just mindless barbaric graffiti. They had a ritualistic meaning to them. They were part, at least we think so, that they contributed a part of a larger ritual. What kind? We don't know yet. But certainly it was a ritual conducted in the name of the bloody-handed god, or scorpion god as he's also known, Cain. Our guess would be...
Have I ever heard of Cain being from Marienburg?
You can roll me common knowledge, Marienburg minus 20%. Actually minus 10 given your background.
Minus 10, no, that's a failure.
If you wouldn't have minus 10, you would pass?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say yes, you've heard. That said, the gang that you were in, they were, very big on not dealing with any of people worshipping Cain, Scorpion, stuff like that. You never like heard any details, but from what you understood, he was this kind of almost heretical, bloody god that required human sacrifices. Some of the most unstable, violent, criminal elements in the city of Marienburg worshipped him. Of course, it was outlawed, and anyone caught worshipping him was sentenced to death. Still, unfortunately, he is quite popular in the underworld elements of the old world, because, well, murderers, of course, have to pray to someone, right? Anyway, Witch Hunter says, our guess, and you can see that his face is practically, it's so grim that it can be more grim even if you try to, is that a few other similar massacres like that occurred without our knowledge in the city. Probably in the poorer sections, perhaps in the eastern parts, maybe somewhere in the docks.
Or, excuse me, Herr Klinger,
yes.
Or would it be that maybe they're trying to induce these rituals by giving people the Crimson Shade? Because when we first learned about it, it was that young geography student who murdered his family.
Yes, the Schnitzer boy. The priests from the Verena Temple. They're not exactly my colleagues, but I respect them and use their expertise quite a few times over the many years. They think that the random acts of violence happening all over the city, they're not supposed to induce this homicidal rage in people, so they would make similar massacre as the one that happened to her Cherryheart's family, but that they are also important in this case because they are strengthening the ritual itself. Every act of violence, every act of rioting because of the Crimson Shade, every single situation in which a man bashes his neighbor's skull with a brick because he's under influence, it also strengthens the ritual. But the main part of it are massacres like the one that happened near the Königplatz. However, we don't know where and how many other massacres like that occurred over the last couple of days, but they are certainly ritualistic and they are needed for something. We don't know what exactly. Yeah. And you can see that he hesitates for a long time before continuing. And this is where we finally arrive at the Colleges of Magic. Now, unfortunately for our venture into the Golden Triangle, we won't have any magical support. That said, warrior priest of Sigmar from the temple will accompany us, but Archmagister Novitsky and a few other magisters from the colleges that we managed to interview, me and my men, and he points at the ramshackle group of the agents. They told us one interesting thing. Over the last couple of days, the winds of magic gathering over Altdorf have started acting strangely. They are I don't personally understand that, of course, being not gifted myself, nor any of my men are, but they say that they are almost acting like they are gathering at certain places in the city, almost as if siphoned towards them. The places are free. The magisters haven't managed to pinpoint the exact location, but one of them seems to be in the general vicinity of the Golden Triangle. The other two are in the north, near the walls.
Okay.
And you know that even the most like basic, someone who has no idea about magic, doesn't know how it works, like the Reiksguard, for example, or even the dwarf, you can see that all of them begin to understand what he's saying. And I can see from your faces that you probably understand what I'm talking about. This ritual, whatever it does, it will affect the entire city. We don't know in what capacity. We don't know if it will open portals to the nether realms, to the dreaded ether, from which countless spawn of the dark gods will be able to emerge, or if it will bring pestilence, or perhaps set the entire portions of city ablaze. We don't know that. We know that magisters of the colleges, those that are still in Altdorf, because so many of them haven't yet returned from the north, they are working tirelessly to try and discover the goal of this whole ritual. And ladies and gentlemen, we are running out of time. We are running out of time, and I'm afraid that if we won't move against Everard Harstein and his cabal of rich and powerful cronies, then it might spell doom for entire Altdorf, and perhaps the entire empire as well. At this moment, the Reiksguard, the blonde Reiksguard with Master's Key, smashed his armored fist into the table and says, "This will not stand! We have made an oath to our Emperor and Sigmar to protect his realm, to protect the city from all enemies, both beyond and within. Point us to the enemy, Templar, and we shall pierce his heart with our lances." Yes, 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 yes. But other than them, no one else is yelling. You see that Thundercoat actually, he doesn't have this wide grin on his face. He actually looks pretty somber and serious. The thin man with monocles is very frantically wiping them with a piece of cloth. The agents, the men and women accompanying Klinger, they're just listening to their leader. The atmosphere, it's almost like it became ice cold in this room.
Nice, baby.
Yeah, if anyone wants to say anything, now is probably a good time, because the Witch Hunter, of course, makes the dramatic and honestly rather needed pause for all of you to understand the gravity of the situation. So if anyone wants to voice something, now is probably the time.
I'm out of my element, so
Yeah. Okay, so I guess that no.
We must stop them.
And we will, says Clay. No, really? Wow! I thought that we are going home after that. Yeah, let's go for some beers. No, of course he's not saying that. No one's saying that, by the way.
No, I know.
Klinger, raises his hand and says, "We will, actually. We will move out in a few minutes. Here is the plan. It's actually very simple, but it will be effective. Preceptor Ferenbach and his Reiksguard," he points at the knights, "as well as my men and Slayer here, will accompany, will join our assault on the Golden Triangle. That said, the entire place is like a fortress, and we have a reason to think that they have at least a few dozen men inside. Perhaps Sir Gaston, Lambert, maybe you can tell us how many armed men are present there, if you saw them.
I believe it was about 20 or so. I think it was about 20 guards, if I remember correctly.
20 guards, says Klinger while nodding slowly. That you saw, which means that we must take into account that there may be more. 20 guards in a heavily fortified position can be problematic. Fortunately, we won't have to scale the walls or use a battering ram to enter the premises of Golden Triangle. That is because of Master Engineer Willibald Sussman here, and he points at the thin man. Yes, says the man. In fact, that's me. Yes. Can I help you with anything, Master Templar? You certainly can. We've talked about this. Oh yes, of course. The machine is prepared as we speak. In fact, it should be near this establishment, probably. And he actually, takes out this small round device on a long chain. He opens it, clicks on the side button, opens it, and says, "It should be almost here, probably, or it will be in less than half an hour." Excellent. Ladies and gentlemen, we will have a steam tank support, he says.
Whoa.
The tank will blow the walls apart. Yes, just I'm sorry, and he interrupted him. The Templar shot him a rather hard stare, but the engineer says, I would just like to remind you that this particular model, it's rather unconventional. The Hellblaster volley gun located in its front hull is can be a bit temperamental, but it will fire. Yes, of course, it will fire. It will fire without any problems, naturally. That's all I want to hear, Master Engineer. Very well. Right. Says the Witch Hunter. The moment the walls are down, we are storming the place. Our main goal is to capture Everett Harstein alive. He can be wounded as long as it won't risk his life. We also want to secure any and all prominent, important figures. Ideally, if we find him inside, Ubaldo Menzik, the Admiral, if he will be there. The entirety of staff and of guards are expendable. Kill any that will stand in your way. They are damned either way. We must accept this fact. We must accept the fact that they've been part of this for quite some time. And he looks at you, Gustav, actually. So I expect no mercy from anyone in this room. There is no mercy for the heretic. Sorry, once again, Bran, something broke?
I close my eyes and nod.
There will be no mercy for the heretic, the mutant, and the unclean. I would also like to remind you that we need to secure every single bit of vital intelligence found there. Ledgers, books, all sorts of scrolls and tomes. Master Cherryheart, have you seen anything important or worthy of checking in the cellar? And Lambert says essentially that no, but that in a few big caskets in the cellar he smelled essentially blood and death, as if inside there they were storing bodies. Now you remember what Klinger said about additional rituals. So he just nods. Very well. The plan is as follows. We will divide ourselves into 3 teams. Once we enter the grounds and clear out the exterior in front of the club itself. We will enter, and he essentially says that one team enters from the windows to the left, one to the right, one from the front. The knights will enter actually from the front. He also says that the steam tank won't be able to fire on the club itself because, well, there's just too much of a risk that in the salvo Everard will die. So the war machine will keep its distance at the edge of the club's premises and eventually provide fire support if more guards will arrive. He also told you that already nearby town watch and guards have been informed of this whole deal, and they won't make any problems. In fact, they will move to secure the what will be left of the Golden Triangle once Everard and the vital intelligence have been spirited away. So we are ending right now. I mean, this is like we are in the session right now. Just so you know, the groups will be as follow. Reichsguard will storm from the front, the building, of course. Gaston, Gustav, Johannes, and Lambert, and two of his men, and Yosarlun, you will go from the right through the windows, and he and his acolytes / agents will go from the left side. With additional, of course, with few of the agents securing the back, making sure that no one will escape through the back windows. Given the fact that you'll be having a friggin' tank, and that probably most of the guards will be killed outside the building once they will rush outside to engage you, there probably won't be too much of an opposition inside. Of course, this whole plan takes like 15 minutes to fully present, explain. The Reichsguard preceptor Fehrenbach has a few questions, of course, few objections, because obviously he has to. He's an asshole. Yosarlun is just grinning wildly. And Master Engineer Sussman doesn't say anything. The agents also don't say anything at all. They will follow their master's orders, to the grave. Does any one of you say anything?
No.
Okay.
I look forward to paying these heretics in full.
Yes. So when you are, once you are ready, and a few temple boys enter the room with additional armor and weapons for you, Gustav, Johannes, Lambert, and Olgason. You not really, because you are already walking tank, but your three companions are a bit like lightly armed and armored. The Witch Hunter also says that you have to be prepared, because depending on what we learn from Everard and what we learn from the intelligence found within the club, we might immediately move to next objectives, those being, of course, the places, the fulcrums of power that are affecting the winds of magic. And he says that for this operation, they should, like emphasis on should, on the word should, have support from the colleges. By the way, sorry, he also told that there will be a few warrior priests with you, so each group will get a single warrior priest, essentially. Plus there will be a single warrior priest, or actually maybe even two, to cover the rear of the club, make sure that no one will escape. Yeah, so you are going to war. Okay, so for now, this is it. Man, my throat aches. Sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah, so points. remember, if any of you guys want to like interject something or ask a few questions like in game, you don't have to be afraid of that, right? So feel free. You have a feeling that this witch hunter is for his kind rather rational. Fortunately, he's not the burn everyone kind of guy. Anyway, everyone, for today's game, 80 points. For everyone's character, 10 points. For religion, everyone 10 points, because I've seen that you are trying to RP your religions really well. Sorry, Bran? Sorry?
We have to do place of birth.
Place of birth. True. Now we are going to place of birth. Gustav, your place of birth.
I pointed out to the warrior priest that Marienburg answered Sigmar's call and many died.
True. That's true. And you've also asked about, if you know anything about Kane and Marienburg. Sure, 10 points. Johannes, Reikland?
Yeah, well, I was trying to be like we have to serve the Empire, and we need to, and this is all to
True.
destroy the Empire.
Yeah, absolutely. 10 points.
That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, very nice. Gaston, 10 points for you. You also RP'd Britannia well. Lambert, honestly, I didn't saw anything from him today when it comes to mood. I don't think so, at least. So 7 points for him. Star sign, Gustav, what about you?
The dancer, I guess it's the amorous part of it. I suggested Marla come with us for her safety, and then when she wouldn't, I asked the witch hunter to increase patrols.
Nice, very cool. 10 points, sure. Johannes, what about you?
Well, I felt it's the Piper. So I felt like I was trying to convince them that we had a real problem and that I knew the solution to it.
Okay.
Or whatnot.
Piper works like that?
So it says the sign of the Piper has always been regarded
diplomatic, cunning, shady. Yeah.
With some suspicion.
Yeah. Negotiate, trying to look. Trying to look for a happy medium. Yeah, true. Negotiate deals. Sure, that was very nice for you, of you. 10 points, of course. Gaston?
That's the drummer. So it's supposed to be excessive, hedonistic, and celebratory. Don't know if I really did much of that today. To be honest.
No.
I'm excited about killing people.
Yeah, but
that's more of my dooming. Though.
Yeah, that's more of your dooming, to which we are actually coming now. And Gaston, you get 10 points for your dooming, of course. That was very well, Pete. Johannes, I guess that nothing for dooming, because if I recall correctly, you have this very strange doom, right? Okay. Tell you what, after this scenario, in the downtime, we can say that you've visited this lady, and we'll roll for a new doom for you, okay? Nice. Gustav, what about you?
I did not say anything to him related.
Okay, let me quickly see if Lambert had any doom, although I don't remember his doom.
Isn't the tongue will be thy undoing? I'm pretty sure he did. He said some dumb stuff.
Yeah, true, he did. He did, both to warrior priest and to witch hunter, sure. 10 points for Lambert, please note. And finally we go to race. Lambert gets 5 points. Ideas that push the scenario forward. I don't think so, but I think I will introduce a slightly changed mechanic, in that I will start giving points for very cool unconventional ideas that actually might help you. So for example, I will give 5 points to Lambert for giving the 5 crowns to the kid and asking him to essentially hire some muscle to help, because that was very cool, and I think this will this sort of thing will be also able to give you much more points, to reward you in a bigger way than just to well, did it push the scenario forward or not? What do you say? I think this will benefit you in the long run, right? So 5 points for.
I think it's good.
Yeah. So 5 points for Lambert for that, and Gustav, you asked for the witch hunter to send troops.
Yeah, increase patrols near the shepherd.
So also 5 points for you for this. And I think that's it. That's it for the points. You should have at least a single advancement after that. Spoiler alert, next session will be intense, so I suggest investing in some weapon skill, toughness, agility or wounds, or anything combat related. Yeah. Now, for our next game, and I will of course ask Michael separately. 11th of August.
I
Should
believe
be fine.
that is okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it should be no problem.
Okay, so I will ask Michael if he'll be fine. Then we'll play on 11th of August. Depending on which time I'll be back from my holiday, it will be standard hour or perhaps an hour later. But I'll keep you posted, right? So thank you for the game, guys. Thanks, Brian. And I'll hear you. I'll see you on 11th, hopefully. Take care. Bye.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks. See ya.
Game, guys.